I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, I'll live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life. I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back, never leave, she's so bad. By thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back, never leave, she's so bad.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. College sports all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. College sports all plays.
Welcome. Let me take the banner off. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show. I have my friend, the co-host, the man, the myth, the Florida Gator himself. From the defeat of the Georgia Bulldogs to now, here is my co-host, the man, the myth, who gave me this hair, the magical, gifted, who won last week's. I ain't gonna tell him that yet. What's up, my friend Dre?
Hey, what's going on, Ray? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the show, man.
Sure,
This is a great day. How you feeling from the last week's games?
Better than good, man. Halloween was beautiful. A little liquid sunshine today in the area of St. Louis, but we're gonna be all right.
That's good, man. All right, Dre. I told you I was gonna let my hair grow out. This is going from November 1st.
Let me see that again. That's 1 week. Not bad.
Yeah, this is the fourth day.
You look like a creative
bro.
player on any video game right now.
Yeah. No, everything's good here. Let's bring this up real here. You can support All Sports All Plays Network by sending stars on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, if you like our content on All Sports All Plays, send us some stars. That will make even more content more believable and add more stuff to our show. We're still going to get a buzzer here pretty soon. I'm working on trying to find a buzzer to put on here so we can buzz Dre in every time. Dre likes to be the buzzer. Yeah.
Well, I want to show my balls today, so I'm gonna get balls out today.
Digsby DW7. Hey, what's up, my man? Welcome to the College Breakdown Show. You're the first time on the College Breakdown Show. We just give you some loves.
Well.
Give some love. Let's go ahead and break some stuff here. You can see us on the College Breakdown Morning Show every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, and Roku TV, and Tiki Live. All you can search at All Sports All Plays Network on those
things. Coming to Apple soon, right?
Yeah, we'll be on Apple soon.
All right.
Yeah. So let's bring that down here. So let's go ahead. We'll run down for a little bit here. Let's bring this up here. Auburn fires head coach Brian Hersey, and who will be the next? Who will take over as next Auburn head coach in your opinion?
Well, I like their approach, and I like how fast Lane Kiffin was. It was like, I'm good here. I appreciate the offer. I think they're being respectful of most coaches that they want due to how nosy some people are. They don't want nothing to break, whether it's Deion, whether it's Kiffin, or maybe it's somebody that's already on the staff. But when you fire a coach halfway through the season with a school with the history that Auburn has, you got to be very, very selective in who you pick, because Auburn is not one of them schools that are looking to lose every year. They really like the football program. That football program is done well, but they got to find the right coach that fits that program.
Okay. Got a cat like Williams, former running back at Auburn, taking over as interim head coach. First game today. So what do you think about that?
See, that's kind of hard when you were a standout athlete, and either you go back to try to get in the coaching realm. Sometimes it does not always work out in your favor, because he was big man on campus at one time with a name like that and the way he played. And I know it's kind of hard to turn that switch off when you used to be a dominant player. Now you set up the coach. You can't expect to have a whole team of cat like Williams. So that's one thing. Got to see how he's judging talent, how he's evaluating talent. What is the upsell? What is the teach back method? And what is his X's and O's in his game of collegiate football? Now, we know how he played football before it's reading the game. I don't want to give nobody a job just because of what they did in college and their name. Let me see that resume. What you bringing to the table? Just because she cute and got a fat ass don't mean I want to date her.
Okay, some interesting names. You mentioned Lane Kiffin came out and said that he didn't want the job.
He came out right away. I like that. I respect that.
You got Hugh Freeze, who signed a big contract at Liberty. His name has been brought around. Mm-hmm. Baylor's offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, his name has been mentioned. We know Deion Sanders' name's been mentioned all up and down to every coaching vacancy there is.
Well, I think the fans want Deion more than Deion wants to go to Auburn. It has to make sense for whoever goes in this situation. It has to make sense. Am I bringing my own coaches in? What am I allowed to do and not to do by coming into this job and situation? Because I don't want to let people go. So, of course, they're going to let him finish out this season because they're doing their top-notch search right now. Because all them coaches that are on the staff, there's no guarantee they're going to be there next year either. So whoever gets this job, it has to make sense for them as well.
Now, interesting name was the former Carolina Panthers head coach, Matt Rule.
Jesus.
What do you think? What do you think about that? I knew you. See, that's why I brought that name. I knew you were going to get a reaction, so I had to get you a reaction first thing this morning, man. I had to get you waking up this morning with Matt Rule.
Between the coffee and the weather, I'm up. Matt Rule. Some people, you know how some friends tell them, you should be a comedian, you funny. Then they try it, they're not that funny. Just because you're funny to your friends don't mean you're funny to the world. Matt Rule, just because you know football and someone told you should go and coach in the pros, how'd that work out for you? Now, maybe this relationship, his translation, his coaching style would probably carry on better on the collegiate level or even the high school level. But this pro nonsense with him needs to stop now. We cannot make coaches better once they get to the NFL. That's the dumbest shit ever. You're at the pinnacle top. You're at the top. You can't get no better than that. You're supposed to make your team better. And he has not done that. I don't know how his wife and kids look at him every day in the morning.
I don't either. But then Kentucky's coach, Mark Stoops, is now being mentioned into this list. So
see, now you're taking away from what a program has been doing. Kentucky football is being looked at other than just the soccer team and the men's basketball team and occasionally the baseball team. But now you got folks talking about the football team. And now you're about to take all that away and have them start all over again, the rebuilding process down in Kentucky. That's not fair. But I get it. It's that time. People want to win in a school like Auburn. They're probably going to have to all stops here and probably really go after Bob Stoops. Now, he can go in and bring in his whole coaching staff and get things rocking and rolling next year. He's that good at that.
Now, two interesting names on here. Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien and Coastal Carolina Jamie Chadwell are two names been mentioned too. Which one of these will be a better hire? Will Bill O'Brien or Jamie Chadwell?
We have seen things work out with coaches that have left Nick Saban's staff, whether they're offensive minded or defensive minded. It's what are you willing to let go and get? If you're going to be the head coach and you're just going to take your offensive minded guy, are you really that conscious enough to trust somebody to run the defense? That's the mitigating factor with a lot of these guys that come from the helms of a high profile coach like a Nick Saban. You come off of that staff, what are you willing to let go? Because we know how Nick Saban is. So if he come up out of that pedigree and his own feelings, it's not going to work well. But I like the name. That's a good, strong hire. Real strong hire. And he's coming with some experience who he learned from.
Now, some people said that he might be a better fit at Georgia Tech and Nebraska than Auburn.
See, what is Georgia Tech trying to do? We know what Nebraska is trying to do. We know what Auburn is trying to do. But Georgia Tech, I'm confused. They have not initiated nothing when it comes to recruiting, and probably since the days of Calvin Johnson. I have not seen them go after nobody. They want people just to come to the tech school because we're tech school. It doesn't work that way. You got to get somebody there with the face and name recognition and got some credibility with these kids coming out of high school. Because these kids right now out of high school, they're on a buddy system as well. With these camps they're going on to, these 707 camps, they want to team up with some of these guys as well. That's why I kind of like the transfer portal. It's helping these guys get somewhere where their skill set can be utilized instead of on the sideline.
Now, we know Wisconsin, Paul Chryst has been fired a while back. Coaches on their list. Now, let's go through some of these coaches' vacancy. Wisconsin, we got the defensive coordinator, Jim Leithart, who is the interim coach. So far, he's done a Nice job. He's done an okay job, but not a person that will be staying on the staff, or he might stay on the staff as a defensive coordinator, maybe if the new coach liked him or not. But the thing is, has he done enough so far to prove that he could be the head coach of Wisconsin?
What's the next big 2 games Wisconsin has coming up? So you need one of those. You need one of those wins or victories to ease the pain of the booster club. You need to get somebody on your side if you're trying to hold that job. Now, if you don't give a damn, oh, well, we don't care either. Just go out there and let the guys go on the field and run around like the old football game from the 70s and 80s, and we'll take that. But if you're trying to secure that job, you need a win. You need a win.
Yeah. And then they got Kansas head coach Lance Leipold. His name has been mentioned. Iowa State, Matt Campbell's name has been mentioned. Kent State's coach Sean Lewis's name has been mentioned. But the interesting name here, and some people in the camp, it's North Carolina State head coach Dave Doeren. He said that he will leave North Carolina State if Wisconsin job has come open.
Whoa. Bye.
Is he gone?
Bye. You can't tell kids like that in college, well, if this job come open, I'm leaving. What kind of shit is that?
That's been in his camp. He's been looking at trying to get back into the big. He's trying to get into the Big Ten. And the thing is that he's 50 years old. Doeren spent. This is the key right here. Listen to this. 50 years old. Doeren spent 2006 to 2010 at Wisconsin. Leading as a recruiting effort that set up a program for 3 consecutive Big Ten championships. The former Badgers defensive coordinator has flexed his recruiting paralysis at North Carolina State, which is 68-50 under his leadership. Interesting, huh?
Very.
It's interesting how I can pull up some dirt on some enemies, North
That's
Carolina
some
State
TMZ
fans.
type shit there, right? That's some TMZ type shit there. I like that.
North Carolina State fans told me there's no way Dave Doeren was going to leave North Carolina State for a Wisconsin job. But he was at Wisconsin for 4 years. I tried to explain that to him. He was a recruiter. They won Big Ten championship under his recruiter and as a defensive coordinator.
Here's something I figured out, Ray. In college, players can't fall in love with the coach because they're going to leave. In the pros, fans can't fall in love with the players because they're going to leave. So we're stuck in a no-win battle here, buddy. We're stuck either way we go. There's no consistency. There's no honor in that force we were all taught to believe as kids when we first fell in love with sports. Stay here. Stay one team. Believe in your coach. But coach leaving every 2 years now. I was supposed to build something. I'm getting a new coach every 2 years. But they want to bitch about kids with the transfer portal. Make up your mind. You can't have both. Can't have both. It's not that many high-tenured love coaches out there that are under the age to relate to these kids now coming into college. That's a problem that Mac Brown had. He had to hire a special assistant to be, I guess, the language barrier because he was not understanding how these young kids would communicate. And that can be a difficult situation. You ever been around 17 to 21-year-old kids? Yeah. The fuckers talking another language, bro. Another language.
Yeah, they talk emoji language.
Yeah. Yeah. They talk like they talk text.
This emoji, this. Sometimes my 21-year-old daughter texts me. She put the shorthand in there. I'm like, what the freak is? So I have to sit there. I have to sit there and Google some of her texts. And she's like, why is it taking you long to respond? I said, I got to learn some of these texts you're doing here.
Get to the damn point. That's what I tell my kids. Get to the point, Bray 6. That's how we do it.
All right, so Georgia Tech's list here when Collins got fired. Some of that coaching list has been Jamie Chatwell for Coastal Carolina, Bill O'Brien from Alabama, Tom Monken from Georgia, Georgia State Deion Sanders, Army's coach Jeff Monken, Bill Clark, former UAB coach, Air Force coach Troy Calhoun, and the Los Angeles Rams tight end coach Thomas Brown has been listed.
If you come from the NFL to go to college and you a position coach, you want out. And I told everybody about the Rams, since everybody got the bag, they don't want to play football no more. So I would get the hell out of there too if I was him. But again, just don't go to Auburn just to go to Auburn. Auburn needs somebody to just go in there and coach that football program. There's opportunity down there to put together a solid football team and a program with some consistency, probably for a good 6 to 8 year run, if the right person gets down there. I'm talking a person that can talk to the kids, go in the house, understand the situation that you're getting this kid from to come into Auburn. That's what you need.
Now, the question is, which job will look attractive for Jamie Chadwell, the Coastal Carolina coach, if he decided he wants to get out and go to a big-time college?
Man, see, Scott Frost started this shit. I blame him. When these coaches go somewhere to a program, people say, well, why are they down there? Why is he at Coastal Carolina? Why is he at UCF? To build up their resume in the program. Then when they do it, what does it say in the cards of coaching? If I build this program up to the expectations of the chairman and the board and the boosters, I get to leave. Why don't you stay and get a building named after you, a field, a holiday? Build on that. But he's probably going to leave.
Yeah.
Auburn is a good, or Wisconsin is good for him. I think Auburn would be better because he's already down there in that little southern region. He already has a little connection.
How about Georgia Tech? Georgia Tech's in the South.
I don't know, Ray. I don't know what Georgia Tech is trying to do. When's the last time Georgia Tech had a winning season?
Under Paul Johnson for been a while, but
yeah,
under Paul Johnson.
When a college football team with a name such as Georgia Tech has not been on the radar at all, at least 6 wins, there's something much more going on there. I think their priorities are somewhere else. Maybe in the tech world. It is a tech school. Because at one time, the basketball team was good. The football team was good. The baseball team, the track team. Yeah, all the programs are doing well. How does a whole damn program just fall off?
Because it's so hard to get in engineering school. That's why.
Well, they need to pull an old trick out of Coach K and Dean Smith book. Shuffle them numbers around and get them kids in there.
Man, why you gotta bring my school into it, you know?
I knew you were about to say that. I had to slide that in there. I had to slide that on in there.
I don't bring your school in much.
We've never been in trouble like that. Never.
No, but y'all sure do. But y'all sure do lose to Georgia in the last few years.
Hey, man. Hey, Ray, I thought we were friends, man.
Hey, man, you said my school. I got to slide my school, your school in. Hey, all right, like Arizona State. There's some names out here that is particular. BYU coach, K.E. Stuckey, whatever his name is. He's a Hawaiian dude. The BYU head coach right now, the current coach.
I can see him going to Arizona State.
Do you?
And Herm Edwards is back on ESPN, by the way. Thank you, Herm.
Yep. And then you got Tom Herman right now, who's the interim coach. Is he a candidate at least?
Isn't that Tom Brady's brother-in-law?
I don't know.
Tom
they don't
Herman
say.
is married to somebody's sister that's a professional athlete because he went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, I think he married to Tom Brady's sister.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. I'll do a fact check real quick.
I like him. Yeah, I think Tom Herman. Is it Tom Brady's sister?
Tom Brady's sister, husband.
The hell is he married to? An athlete.
I don't know. I'm finna find out.
Because he went to something. And I was like, what?
No, she's according to Boston Herald Inside Track, Red Sox, Kevin Yolas is engaged to Julie Brady, the sister of the Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. He's the Boston Red Sox.
Okay. I knew it was something crazy. But yeah, I like Tom Herman. I like him. I like the way he talks to the players and the media. He's a good dude. Well, the days of niceness gone in a coach, though.
Yeah. That's Arizona's day. I mean, they got Baylor's offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, and Killingham.
Wasn't
Matt
Jeff
Rule
Grimes?
has not been it. Matt Rule is not on this list. Matt Rule is not on the Georgia Tech list.
Has he been fired yet from Carolina?
Yeah, he's been gone.
Oh, that's
He
right.
was
That's
fired
right.
2
The
weeks
brother
ago.
came in. That's right. The brother that's from Charlotte came in.
Yeah. All right, Colorado job. Anything breaking out here? Their list is not really lackluster. The defensive coordinator, Ryan Walters from Illinois, Eric Forrest, Troy Calhoun, Auburn's coach, Brian Harrison, former coach. His name's been mentioned in this one. The USC defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch, and the Oklahoma State offensive coordinator, Casey Dunn. And Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy's name's been mentioned at Colorado.
He should be an NFL coach. He pissed. That is just horrible why he's not an NFL head coach. Eric Public Bieniemy, my dude, former Buffalo.
And North Dakota State coach Matt Ings, his name has been mentioned. So
it's a lot of people moving in the offseason.
Yeah, it's not really a lackluster name for Colorado in this one. So, all right, let's go. We're gonna get to your thing about this right here. Do you agree or disagree from the first college playoffs ranking that was released on Tuesday evening? Your thoughts on that? I'll pull them up.
Recap screen. You got the recap on that.
Yeah, I got number 1, Tennessee. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Clemson. Number 5, Michigan. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, TCU. 8, Oregon. 9, USC. Number 10, LSU. Number 11, Ole Miss. Number 12, UCLA. Number 13, Kansas State. Number 14, Utah. Number 15, Penn State. Number 16, Illinois. Number 17, North Carolina. Number 18, you got it?
I see it now. Yeah. I don't like that TC. The TCU is the only problem I had. TCU should be higher, and they know that because they're undefeated.
Oh, right.
How does an undefeated team go below a team with a loss?
Because it's Alabama.
We know that, but we go through this every year.
Okay,
the
hold up.
committee talks about it.
Hold up. You say how undefeated team gets. How does a 6-2 team get in between a 7-1 and an 8-1 team?
Who's the 6-2 team you speak of?
LSU. And how they get behind USC? How they get behind USC and over top Ole Miss?
That's the thing. That's why they're trying to change that schedule out there on the left coast because they're tired of the situation where it comes to strength of schedule. They're trying to wipe all that out. Stop blaming us for our schedule. You know we got to take in these 2 crazy schools we shouldn't be playing. Nobody across the board. There's 2 schools on everybody's schedule they should not be playing. But we know why they do it. But when this whole schedule changes for everybody and every week somebody has a tough matchup, it's going to get harder and harder how to do this poll when it comes to the college playoff system. Yeah, I don't like it either. A 6-2 team in the middle of that, undefeated team below a team with a loss. Make it make sense.
And then you got number 5-3 Texas team that ranked number 24.
Texas should not even be in the damn 25. They should be probably 45. Texas and Oklahoma State should be ashamed of themselves the way they have attacked this college football season. They should be ashamed of themselves. I hope Arch Manning change his damn mind.
Okay. And then you got Oregon at 7-1, number 8. But the only loss that came against the number 3 Georgia, which was ranked number 1 at the time.
And it was what, week 0?
Yep.
See, the same thing comes into play the year that Florida, Tim Tebow and my boys, we lost to Mississippi State. We lost that game early enough in the season that it did not hurt us when it came time for the playoff system and the SEC championship, and eventually us going on to win the national championship. So it all depends on when you lost or when you lose and who you lose to. As they were saying about when Alabama lost to Tennessee. Not so fast, my friend. Corso, my man, get well. But if they went out and Georgia loses today, it's like Bama never lost. I'm telling you, the SEC is the most, it's like analytic geometry and trigonometry and chemistry 101 all in one. You can't figure it out.
Yeah, true.
You cannot figure it out, but it's fun to watch and yell at the TV about. Like cuss them out, you're wrong. But I love when they're on our side. They agree too what we're talking about. They all agreed Tuesday night if you watched it.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I mean, to me, I had every team right except in the wrong order for the first three.
You had Bama? I mean, you had
Georgia. I had Georgia at number 1. I had Tennessee at number 2, and I had Ohio State at number 3. And then I had Clemson at 4 and Michigan at 5.
In the AP poll, isn't Georgia number 1 and Tennessee 2?
In the AP poll?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll tell you here in a minute. Let me see here. It's coming up. It's a little bit slow. All right, yeah. Georgia number 1, Tennessee and Ohio State tied at number 2. And then Michigan at number 4 and Clemson at number 5.
I swear. I just
that's the AP poll. They have no number 3. Hey, look, they have no number 3. They have Tennessee and Ohio State tied at number 2, and then go to Michigan at number 4, and then Clemson at number 5, and then Alabama at number 6.
Where's TCU at on AP on that list?
7.
Motherfucker. They could go to hell. They could go.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. You know what this is setting up to be? I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. If Georgia beats Tennessee, they'll drop Tennessee down to number 4. They'll pull Alabama up there above Clemson. We'll have a 3 SEC team and 1 other champion getting in. That's what it's gonna be. That's what's gonna happen.
Wow.
They've been working that. They've been working it the whole time. They want SEC team to have 3 teams in and 1 other conference in there to make the 4. Mm-hmm. That's what ESPN wants. That's why Alabama's sitting at number 6. Now, the scenario will happen if LSU beats Alabama tonight.
Everything changed if LSU beats Alabama. But I don't think this is the year to do it because he took that self-imposed 1-year penalty. Brian Kelly did. They have nothing to lose, win or lose this game. But if they win this game, that speaks volumes for next year when they're not on probation.
Right. So, I mean, so do you agree or disagree so far with the poll so far? Do you agree with it, or are you still in the belief of disagreement?
The only thing I like was the LSU and the TCU situation. Explain that to me, committee, and if they give me a logical explanation, I'll let it go.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with it to that point where TCU should be above Alabama.
Yep.
And then Texas should be out because how does a 5-3 team get in between a 6-2 teams? So the committee, the committee is trying to do it the best they could, but
who's on this committee? 75 and older? Who's on this damn? It's just like the baseball writers committee. Old motherfuckers.
Yeah, and your boy Robert Norris says, "Morning, fellas. Let's go Vols."
What's up, Rob? What's up?
Hey, hello to the I was thinking about going to that game, but tickets are too high for me. $500 to $5,000.
$5,260 to be exact on the 50-yard line.
Yep. Nope. I'm trying to go around. I'm trying to go around to all. I want to go around to all, stadiums. I like going to different stadiums and stuff like that. And this was my time to go see this game. But I can't afford it. So I'm going to have to wait till next year probably to find me a good game to go to Knoxville.
And the goal is
Sanford Stadium.
RP. And we go to college football games every weekend and do the show. That is the goal and the dream, to get an RV.
That is the goal. And the only way we can do – hey, look, only way we can do that, if you can send us some stars if you want that to happen. That's the only way we can do it.
Get us an RV. Trey wants an RV. Bad.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to donate an RV to the All Sports All Plays Network, to the College Breakdown Show, we will do a game day in every different stadium.
A different venue every week. And it doesn't have to be the big one. It can be the small RV, the 4 to 6 thousand. It can be that one. We'll start off small.
We'll start off small. And we will go to smaller colleges, too. We won't just go to the big colleges. We will go all the way around to the small colleges and all that, too. So
yeah, got to go to trailer park colleges. Got to go to those. Those are fun.
So we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to set up for the college breakdown segment. We got a lot of college football. We got we got about 51 colleges to break down today. 51 colleges. So we'll be right back on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray and Dre. We'll be right back.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365 5, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports, All College Breakdown. We are now in the College Breakdown segment of the show where we're going to start breaking down. We got a few stories out of the way. We got the college playoffs polls that came out Tuesday evening. So now we're going to start the ramp of a 11:30 a.m. game. 11:30 a.m. game. Air Force versus Army. We're going to break this game down. The weather is going to be about 44 degrees in Arlington, Texas at Chilcott Stadium. Damn. They're playing in Arlington, Texas. For this game.
Arlington. What?
Air Force nowhere in Texas, and Army sure is not in Texas. They're playing in Arlington, Texas at the Chilcott Stadium.
Oh, man.
Wow, I wonder if that's a misprint. I don't know, but that's what they say. This game is going to be played at the Chilcott Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Yeah, Air Force. It sure is. Air Force, Army square off in a Texas for the second straight year. But it's not the Chilcott Stadium. It's Global Life Field, Arlington, Texas, Saturday at 11:30. This game will be on CBS. The matchup predicted gives Air Force 68.1% chance of beating the Army at 31.9%. So how do you look at this game for the Service Academy?
I think Air Force has the advantage in this one. I do believe. Am I right? Coming in with this matchup, or is Army lifted up a little bit?
Army's got the advantage right now. I'll go through the stats that the Army's got advantage in the Air Force. Army has advantage in points per game at 32.7 to 30.9 for Air Force. Air Force has advantage on defense, only giving up 16.8 points a game. Army is giving up 29.4 in the defense. Army, all total yards, Army leads that with 431.7 to 419.1. You want to break that down? Army passing 97.1, and their rushing is 334.6. But the rushing yard goes over to if you want to break that down, it goes over to the Air Force at 336.8 yards. So they almost got a 2.2 yards advantage right there on that. Mm-hmm. Air Force got the passing advantage at 97.1 to 82.4. So we're going to see a lot of running.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I don't know why that became the recipe for these service schools, but at some point it's fun to watch. But every now and then when they get out of the way and throw the ball, do some RPOs, I like seeing that. But when they just run the whole game, I'm wondering what they're waiting on to see. Well, why is it done so much so often without throwing the ball?
I got something to tell you about that. You know, all service academies are what? What did he do on their PRT? Run.
Yeah.
They're all in shape for running.
All, including the linemen.
Yes, including the linemen. But if you look at the defensive side here, Air Force is only giving up 291.1 yards to 404.4 for the Army. You want to break that down even more? Army's giving up 164.8 in passing, only 126.4 in rushing. Air Force
than the other.
Army is passing yards. They're giving up 192.0 and giving up 212.4 rushing. So that's a recipe right there for Air Force to just run the ball all over the Army today.
I can't remember what formation it is or which school did it between Army and Air Force, but one of them did, and I saw how fast they are coming out of this formation and executing the play. It's when they line up in a run play, and at the very last second, they all run to get in a pass play formation. And I think it's Army that did that. I think it's Army. They came off that formation so fast and got the ball to the tight end over the middle on the right side. And I think it either set up a touchdown or it scored a touchdown. It was earlier this year. And I was like, wow, that's fast. But as you said, they all prepared to do what, kids? RUN, run, do the PRT. So there you go.
Yeah, if you look at this, Air Force is coming in off a loss against Boise State, 19-14 back on October 22nd. Army has a 2-game winning streak, beating Colgate and University of Louisiana Monroe at 48-24, and they beat Colgate 42-17. So Air Force is coming in on a 1-1. They beat UNLV 42-7. They lost to Boise 19-14.
I'm going with Army on this one.
You going with Army?
I think it was Army who I saw pull that play off, and they're so fast. I think they got a tight end that's fast too. I think it was probably early part of October. They played somebody. You know, it could have been that UNLV game. They did that.
Could be.
I think it was a UNLV game. Yeah, because they played at UNLV. They played in Vegas.
Yeah, that was Air Force.
Game. Yeah, that was the game. So I'm going with them. I like that playing formation.
Where you going with Air Force? You going with Air Force now?
Was that Air Force that beat UNLV?
That was Air Force played UNLV.
Give me Air Force. Because that's where that play happened at.
I wouldn't say, man, you going with Army, man. That's kind of low blow for the Navy, you know.
I mean, I share the base with the Air Force, but I work with more Army people than Air Force people. But
well, dude, I'm gonna tell you what. I like the Air Force because Air Force likes to come in with their freaking air-conditioned tents in Afghanistan, their PX and everything. They know how to travel. They know how to treat their people.
Oh, my God. They pay you so well to travel.
So I got the Preppy Force. I call them the Preppy Force. I got the Air Force in this one, you know.
We both got them.
Yeah.
What's our record for last week, by the way, leading up to this? Can you put that up there real quick?
You sure?
Overall record? Yeah, I want to see it. The people want to see it.
People want to see it? Well, yeah. Dre, I'm going to tell you what. This is only the second time that you beat me. 28-13 to 26-15. You know, not an overblowing victory, but you did gain 2 games.
A win's a win.
You're now got 341 at 183 to my 365 to 159.
Jesus, Dre, we got some work to do. I can't lose 200 games before I win 350. Come on now, Dre. Make it make sense, Daddy. Come on now. Let's go, Dre. I got you, Dre. Come on. I believe in us, DRE. Let's go.
And if you see that we are all back in gold because Breast Cancer Awareness Month is over, this is a no-shave November, which is now doing to this thing where I told Dre that I was going to let my hair grow out since the 1st of November. I have. This is about 4 days worth of growth. This is working on the 5th day and doing the beard too. So I have not shaved this part of the body at all for this thing. And I told Dre I'll let it grow out for the whole month. So
you going no shave for the whole body?
I don't want nobody to know I'm a hairy Wookiee, man. Come on now. My wife's already called me Chewbacca. Now you let no goal out, man.
I like no shave November if it's for the right reasons that people are doing it. You know, that crazy stuff, I'm not down with that. You know, people out here doing it for the right reasons. I like that. I appreciate that. I applaud that. The women that do it for crazy, weird reasons, stop it. We don't want no woman supporting or participating in No Shave November.
You don't want that. You don't want the beads underneath the hair.
No. Hey,
Trey Collins, one of our analysts on here, give me Air Force. He's got Air Force in this one. And Mike Hughes says, other analyst says, go Vols. I don't know. Mike said one time he was a Clemson fan. Now he's going Vols. So I don't know, man.
Same color. Don't nobody know the difference. They can get away with it.
So I don't know which one he leaning more to. I guess he likes the orange.
There's nothing wrong with that color. Real good.
I'm surprised he'll go with the flight and alumni. They got about the same color too. No, we're just having fun on here, man. We're having fun.
Thanks, Mike and Trey. Appreciate it.
All right, man. All right. Next game we're going to talk about will be the North Carolina at Virginia at 12 o'clock. Temperature is going to be 57 degrees at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Virginia's not having a Virginia-type year. They are 3-5, 1-4 in the conference play. North Carolina's having a pretty good year at 7-1, 4-0 in conference play right now in the ACC. Carolina, 73% chance of winning in Charlottesville to 27.0%. This is the oldest rival in the South. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. Tell me about this quarterback of yours at Carolina, E.J. Manning.
No, Drake May.
Drake May?
May.
Tell me about him.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right here. I give Trey Collins said North Carolina has the best quarterback in the ACC, North Carolina, and the points today. That's what Trey's saying. Well, let me tell you about Drake May. Drake May is the son of Mark May, former North Carolina quarterback, brother of Luke May, and brother of the baseball player that won the national championship for the Florida Gators.
The parents did a good job of putting out some sports pedigree type of kid. Way to go, Mom.
And then they got another son that plays on the Carolina basketball team, walked on this year.
Damn, how the parents living? Damn.
Oh, May. So, how good is Mark May? Mark May is a redshirt freshman. He played one game last year. He and Chris Wallace split at the time when Sam Howell was injured last year.
Wow.
Drake May showed some stuff in that ball game. And then during the offseason, it was a quarterback competition that Drake May took over in the last spring and the last fall practice before the season. He beat out Chris Wallace. Drake May is such a poised guy under pressure. He is listed as a pocket passer, but he leads North Carolina in rushing.
What's his size? 6'3"?
6'5".
You give me a quarterback with that right there. That got positivity written all over it, especially mobile and got an arm. And this kid, a redshirt freshman, playing like this, he came in with a football IQ then.
Yes. 196 out of 275, 2,671 yards, 29 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He has run the ball 98. He's got 98 carries, 439 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he has over 32 touchdowns for the North Carolina Tar Heels combined with his 3 rushing and his 29 of passing.
Those are good numbers, dude.
Even though they lost to Notre Dame, he still passed for 5 touchdowns in that game.
That's what's up. This should be like a very high efficiency passing rating game for him. Probably get an invitation or email for New York.
Antonio Green missed the first 3 games of this season. He now has 23 receptions, 564 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's missed the first 2 games of the season. Came back in the 3rd game. Now he's over 564 yards. He's a big playmaker on the deep passes. Josh Downs is the other playmaker. You got to worry about Josh Downs. When you worry about Josh Downs, you leave Antonio Green wide open on a 1-to-1 coverage.
Carolina should win this game hands down. Now, I know in the past when a rival game like this happened, weird things happen. We all know weird things are going to happen today throughout college football because the tendencies of these schools that are playing each other, it never let us down when it comes to what the hell just happened.
What I worry about in this ball game is not Virginia. It's the stadium, Scott Stadium. North Carolina's only won 26 times at Scott Stadium in Virginia.
And they
have a hard time winning inside Scott Stadium. But the other thing, too, is Brandon Armstrong has not had a Brandon Armstrong season. He's only 151 out of 271 passing, 1,826 with 6 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That's not his standard.
Not at all.
P. Jones, their running back, is at 81 carries, 365 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, did the recruiting bug hit Virginia or the injury bug hit Virginia?
No, the former head coach left. They fired him.
Got to go.
I guess Mendenhall. Yeah, Mendenhall was the coach. They fired him. Kay Thompson, who has 53 receptions for 579 yards, is their leading receiver. The Carolina's favored by 7 points. The over and under is 60.
I like that over under 60. I like that.
Why you say that? North Carolina is averaging 41.8 points a game on the offense. Virginia's only averaging 16.8. But North Carolina's defense is giving up 31.4 a game to Virginia's 21.5 on their defense.
That has overwritten all over it, buddy.
And then North Carolina leads in total yards at 502 to 359.9 for Virginia. North Carolina breakdown is 334.4 yards passing to their rushing of 167.6. They lead both Virginia category on the offensive side. But on the other hand, the defensive side for Virginia is only giving up 340.6. To break down that, they only giving up 192.9 on the pass and only 147.8 on the rush. On the opposite side for North Carolina is giving up 462.6 on the defense, 283.3 on the passing, and then on the rush, 179.4. But that's misleading because if you go to North Carolina's fourth quarter, besides the Notre Dame game, North Carolina's defense has shown up in the fourth quarter.
Shutdown time. I need some defensive touchdowns today from Carolina as well. They have the potential. I like their linebackers and I like their safeties as well.
North Carolina's got 3 key injuries on the defensive side. They got the nose tackle, Edmond, and they got some other guy, one of the other key reserves, and then they got the defensive end who transferred over from Virginia, and Trainer, he got a knee injury, so he's out for the season. Those 3 are out for the season for North Carolina. So that injury has hit North Carolina on the defensive side. But those 3 guys got hurt in the first half of last week's game against Pittsburgh. Their backups come in and shut Pittsburgh down in the third and fourth quarter.
Sometimes the understudy is just as good as the student.
So that's the thing right there. In this type of a game, North Carolina has a hard time beating Virginia at Virginia, regardless of what Virginia's record is. Yep. North Carolina is favored by 7.5. North Carolina leads the series 64-58-4.
It's one of those matchups, man, where the student body comes real important to the hometown team. Real important if they can pull it off. But it's going to be a tough matchup. But I got Carolina winning this game. Not easily. The start of this game in the fourth quarter is going to be real key for Carolina. I hope the kicking game does not come into play today and no college football game at all today. But if it does, I think Carolina has the upper hand in the kicking game as well.
All right. Drake May, this is the key matchup. UNC quarterback Drake May against the Virginia defense. The Cavaliers have not allowed an offensive touchdown in 2 games and had 8 sacks in their 16-9 victory over Georgia Tech, but they played Georgia Tech 2 weeks ago. But no one has seemed to slow May. He has thrown for 29 touchdowns and only has 3 interceptions.
3 picks. That's impressive for a redshirt kid. That's impressive. I don't care how you look at it.
Players to watch is North Carolina wide receiver Antonio Green, and Josh Downs is the Tar Heels' top receiver with 48 catches and 7 touchdowns. But Green has emerged in the last 2 games as a threat to penalize spending too much attention to Downs. In victories against Duke and Pittsburgh, he has caught 14 passes for 292 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Stop me. I mean, they did the same thing to Marvin Harrison kid last week. They threw the ball to him every 3 times.
Yep.
If you can't stop it, throw me the ball. Get me the ball. I am the playmaker.
Linebacker Chincho Bennett Jr. for Virginia has led the ACC with 7 sacks and 6 of them solo, along with the ACC tackle leader, Nick Jackson. Bennett will have a huge role in trying to prevent May from continuing to light up the scoreboard.
He definitely will have a long day.
This game has long been billed as the South's oldest rivalry, and only Minnesota and Wisconsin, 131 meeting, have played more frequently in the bowl subdivision. USC coach Mack Brown has a 4-9 record against Virginia. The Tar Heels have won 59-39 the last year in the highest scoring game in the rivalry. Virginia lost this despite Bennett and Armstrong throwing for 554 yards, the most ever allowed by UNC. The Cavaliers are in week 2 of a 4-game homestand, the first for the program on 4 consecutive series since 1970.
Wow, they got 4 games in a row. And Mizzou bitching about playing at 11 o'clock in consecutive weeks. We got issues out here, people. But I still got Carolina winning this game in a shootout. Very high-scoring game. The way this game starts and the way it finishes in the fourth quarter, to me, gives Carolina the upper hand. I'm really going to pay attention to this redshirt quarterback, Mato. I'm going to pay attention to him today.
Yeah, so I got North Carolina winning. I got North Carolina winning by a field goal. So if you're going to take the points in the spread, I don't think you take the points in the spread in this one because the way Virginia plays, way North Carolina plays in Scott Stadium, anything can happen.
Well, I can place one with my bookie and one with one of the sports books. You know, I can do the points in one. I can do the under with one.
Yeah, there you go.
One makes my pockets even more happier.
All right, let's see here. Let's go a little bit of rapid time here. We got a little bit of rapid time. Number 2, Ohio State against Northwestern. Who you got?
Until somebody can show me with consistency to stop C.J. Stroud, I'm going with the Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State is going to win because Northwestern has not won in the United States yet. They only won in Ireland.
You bring that up every week. I love it.
Hey man, you got to tell this. You got to tell the story behind Northwestern.
You do.
Well, how did they get the one win? They beat Nebraska where? In Ireland.
Scott Frost got kidnapped over there.
So they should leave. They should have transferred to school from the United States to Ireland, and they might have a shot to win more games. I'm just saying.
Neutral fields matter.
All right, let's break this game down here. This game right here, buddy. Texas Tech versus number 7 TCU, the Horned Frogs. The Horned Frogs got everything riding on this game today. If they win, they keep climbing. If they lose, we can see they've fallen pretty handily.
I think I mentioned this in week 0 and week 1 about TCU. They always start out as that fan favorite, that media darling. But when November gets here, TCU always has a hiccup. If they can survive November, this here could be the screw that messes up the whole drivetrain right here. That could cause a clink in everything the SEC is trying to do. It all depends on what TCU is able to do throughout the month of November. And this is where it starts. And Texas Tech is one of those teams. 1 week they'll score 10 points. The next week they'll probably score 23. But then after that, they'll score 55, 62. 68, 71, and throw the ball like they did back in the day when they had those quarterbacks that were just throwing the ball 600 yards a game. If they go play like that, this could be a high-scoring affair with TCU and Texas Tech today.
Now, we're looking at Duggan, who is 149 out of 221, 2,212 yards and 22 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's going up against Texas Tech. Smith, 147 out of 221, 1,505 yards, but he has 12 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. If you look at the running game, Miller for TCU, 132 carries for 851 yards and 11 touchdowns. To Thompson for Texas Tech, 89 carries, 435 yards, 3 touchdowns. But the receivers you're looking at here is Quentin Johnson for TCU, 42 receptions, 650 yards, 4 touchdowns. To White, 33 receptions, 454 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So
TCU, they showed me what they can do being aggressive on offense, as well as playing lame defense and still winning the game, playing aggressive defense, winning the game, getting over the official problem. There's every team that goes through this every week of getting over the handkerchief on the field, whether it's too many as opposed to you are letting the other team get away with everything. They got to get over that, the psychological effect of college football Saturday. But if Tennessee can survive today, TCU, that is step one in getting through no bullshit November.
Yeah, this is 59-degree weather. They're playing at Fort Worth, Texas, home at Amon G. Carter Stadium on the campus of TCU.
I like boots and jeans on a woman, but boots and shorts, cut-off jeans with a guitar and a guitar, I like that too.
Anybody likes Daisy Dukes,
Athens, Georgia is in a whole new element today. Element.
Well, if you look at this game here, break this game here, Texas Tech is averaging 33.9 a game. TCU is averaging 44.3 a game. Texas Tech is giving up 29.3. TCU is only giving up 27.3. TCU, a high-power offense of 518.6 to 475.9 for the Texas Red Raiders and Texas Tech. And the defense advantage goes to Texas Tech, giving up only 365.8 yards to 402.5. So.
Hey, he said Ray gonna end up looking like Big Bird.
Oh, that one? Yeah. I ain't gonna end up looking like Big Bird. I'm gonna end up looking like Lou Ferrigno. Incredible Hulk. You watch.
What is your natural hair color?
Brown.
Brown? Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. Not yellow, brown. And then he also said that North Carolina will win by a forced fumble TD. That was interesting.
Okay.
All right, if you look at the Texas Tech's last few games, they beat West Virginia University 48-10. Baylor, they lost to Baylor 45-17 last week. If you look at TCU, they beat number 17 K-State 38-28, and then they turn around and beat West Virginia 41-31 at West Virginia. But if you look at
these statistics, man, I tell you, they can be confusing and misleading sometimes. That's why.
Yeah, it could be. The common opponent, if you look at what is West Virginia right now. Oh, no, Ohio State. Oklahoma State is also TCU barely beat Oklahoma State 40-30. But Texas Tech lost to Oklahoma State 41-31.
But Texas Tech could be a spoiler today, as well as Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee and Texas Tech could really do some damage today. And LSU, let those three games go haywire.
And if you look at the matchup predicted in this one, TCU is favored. TCU 77.4% to 22.6% according to the ESPN analytics.
What about the points? They giving any points?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
TCU is favored by 8 points. Over and under is 69.
I like that number, 69. I like it. 69 is 1-5. 1-5 is 6. I love it.
We gotta keep it clean, man. You can go that way.
I said 6-9 is 15. 1-5 is 6. That's all I said.
Okay. Just making sure. Because at first you said you love 69.
That number, hell yeah, I love that number. I just told you why. 6-9 is 15. 1-5 is 6. I love it.
All right.
Anything that comes down with two numbers combined is 6. That's based on the number.
All right,
10. I love it.
All right, Mr. Betting Man. Will you take the point spread and the over and under in this ball game?
I'm staying away from that point spread, but I'm loving that over and under. I love that 16. I love it. The way these two schools are capable of scoring, and it's November, I really don't trust TCU that much in the month of November. They have always let me down in the month of November. And the way Texas Tech has put up points in the past, anything is possible today.
Interesting note in this ball game is sack Raiders. The 30 sacks allowed by the Red Raiders are tied for the most by the Power 5 team with 13 more than any other Big 12 team. Baylor last week was third team this season with 6 sacks against them. The defensive end, Gabe Hall, becomes the fourth opposing player with 3. The right tackle, left tackle, there's oars by both of them, McGuire said, pointing out the depth chart for TCU. Does TCU get the sack? Does TCU go in and be a sack monster? Can we see the Horned Frog sack monster come out today?
If he holds on to the ball too long, could that be the issue? Or is it the offensive line just the fact that bad? I think
it could be both. It could be both. It could be both.
You hold on the ball too long, they're gonna sack you. Oh my God.
It could be both. What is text this? Go ahead.
It looks like there were more people at game day in Jackson, Mississippi than here in Athens. By a long shot. You can see the grass in Athens. You couldn't see nothing in Jackson but people. Right,
what the game day? What the game day did down here in Jacksonville?
No, when they were in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh. All right. So Dykes is a Tech Disconnect grad. Sonny Dykes, the TCU coach, is a Texas Tech grad and played baseball at the school where his dad, Spike, was the head football coach from 1986 to 99. The younger Dykes was then on the Red Raiders football staff for Mike Lynch from 2000 to 2006. Interesting fact. He goes up against once his dad's Texas Red Raiders where he played baseball. Sonny Dykes.
You know, in college sports, when it comes to facing your dad's alma mater or your brother,
his alma mater,
it doesn't matter to these kids anymore. It doesn't matter. They're trying to not even think about it because half of them had a horrible experience with dad growing up as a coach. So I don't even think that's a factor today. I just want TCU to survive November and make this shit interesting as we get closer and closer to figure out who's going to be playing in the college playoff.
Ready for this? TCU's 2 road games left. They do not have to leave the state of Texas. They will play Texas in Austin, and they'll go to Waco, play Baylor. And they host Iowa State at Fort Worth. So they have not leave the state of Texas no more, except for the Big 12 championship game.
Right. Which is in Jerry World, isn't it?
Yeah, but we played 20 miles from their campus.
I like that. If coach make it that real simple for them, that's the winning formula right there, Ray. If you make it that simple to finish this season, look, men, let me tell you what we have at stake today. This is what can happen. I just got real simple. Real simple.
Who you got in this ball game?
I got TCU, man. I'm gonna pick TCU to win this.
Yeah, I got TCU.
I believe in the Horned Frogs this November. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna believe in the Horned Frogs.
You're gonna believe?
69.
You're gonna believe. You're a believer.
Yeah.
All right, this is an interesting game. Number 19, Tulane, who is 7-1, 4-0 in the American, goes to play Tulsa at 3-5, 1-3 in the American. They play at Chapman Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Game temperature is 50 degrees. Let's break this game down for you here. So, what do you look at the Green Wave of Tulane, who is ranked number 19?
I got to see how and why they are ranked number 19. I got to see this team play. That, to me, that's impressive, man. That's up there with the basketball team the year it made the NCAA tournament. I got to see what's going on with this football team. Are they that fast? Are they doing things outside of the box we haven't recognized?
Okay, their last loss was against USM, University of Southern Mississippi, on 9/24, 27-24. But they did go beat Houston 27-24 in overtime. They beat East Carolina 24-9. They beat University of Southern Florida 45-31, and they beat Memphis 38-28.
I like that Memphis being on the resume. That Houston is pretty good, but that loss against cheap-ass Brett Favre's alma mater, I don't know about that. So I'm gonna watch what time that game come on today. I'm gonna check that game.
That's at noon.
See, I'm gonna see about this Green Wave and the posse, and they're playing Tulsa, who is fast on the outside. They got some fast receivers.
But Tulsa's coming in only One and 4 of the last 5 games. They lost to number 16 Mississippi Ole Miss 35-27. They lost to Cincinnati 31-21. They lost to Navy 53-21. They beat Temple 27-16, and they lost to SMU 45-34. So one team is coming in 5-1 in the last 5 games, and the other one's coming in 1-4.
I'm gonna roll with the odds here. I'm gonna go with Tulane and the Posse. I want to see what this is all about.
The Tulane is favored by 7 points, and the over and under is 56.
So I like the points in that one. I like those 7 points right there. Not going to bet on that game, but I'm going to watch Tulane. I want to check them out. Probably watch the first half of that.
Tulane, according to the ESPN Analytics matchup predictor, Tulane 75.0 to 25.0 for Tulsa. This one.
Gotcha.
If you look at Tulsa, the quarterback for Tulsa has the advantage over the Tulane quarterback, which is 143 out of 237 for 2,090 yards, 17 TDs, and 7 interceptions. But the Tulane quarterback, Matt Pratt, he's 131 out of 194, 1,718 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Tulane gets the for rushing, where Spears 120 carries, 588 yards, 9 touchdowns to Prince for Tulsa, 61 carries for 383 yards for 3 touchdowns. The receiving goes to Tulsa and Stokes, 53 receptions, 924 yards, 5 touchdowns to Wyatt for Tulane, 19 receptions, 363 yards, and 1 touchdown. So one team looks like it runs the ball, the other team looks like it passes the ball. So we're going to have a contrast of styles here.
A little balanced situation going on. If you coming in this game with 1-4 in your last 5 games, I'm quite sure they're going to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out what happened in the game they won and games they should have won or games they hung around in until late in the fourth quarter.
Tulsa offense gets the advantage and the total yards, 434.3 to 410.8 for Tulane. Tulane's passing is 252.6 yards, and their rushing is 158.1. They get advantage on the rushing, but they don't get advantage on the passing because Tulsa's passing is 292.3, and their rushing is 142.0. But it gets a little bit unexpectedly here on the defensive side. Tulsa has given up 392 yards, 0.9. That breakdown is they give up 182.9 passing, but they give up 210 yards on the ground. To Tulane, 313.6. They only given up 184.6 yards passing, and they only given up 129 on the ground.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very well-balanced game from both sides here, but I still have Tulane pulling this one out. I like that at 7 points you said. I like that. I think that's doable. That's doable.
Right, so we're both riding the green wave on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take the green wave. Suzuki. All right, this brings us to your state that you live in. Missouri will host Kentucky today at Memorial Stadium for Farrott Field?
Yep.
Columbia, Ohio. Temperature is going to be 49 degrees. Is it that cold there already?
It's fall. We had a lot of precipitation in the way over the past 24 hours, but it's going to clear up here in a bit here. As your forecaster here, Dre Montez. Winds are coming in the northeast at a high of 17 miles per hour.
All right. So University of Kentucky is 53. It's 5-3, 2-3 in conference play. Missouri comes in at
What a game being played at? And is the game being played at Mizzou?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead. Sorry.
And Missouri comes in at 4-4, 2-3 in conference play. So they both tied in the conference play at 2-3. Kentucky's got a 2-game over 500, and Missouri's at 500 at 4-4 overall.
Based on how Mizzou has played this year, I don't think their record really meets up how that team is. We saw a couple of games this year that Mizzou should have won, but some crazy things happened. And shout out to all the Mizzou fans out there, my buddy Brandon, my man, about the counselor who's in Mexico right now watching the game, hopefully, and checking out the show. But I want to see Mizzou really utilize Luther Burden today. I really want to see him get the attention and the touches. when you have a high caliber athlete like that at your school or university, you don't know how long you're going to have them anymore. You don't know, especially with the transfer portal. And if it's not going the right way it should go for that kid, this is the time to utilize them. Again, Mizzou record does not really speak how the team is this year. They're right. To me, they're not a 4-4 team. I would give them, they should be 6-2 right now, based on those games, the way they played in. Kentucky coming into this game, in this matchup, knowing how they have played in the past, and when these two teams meet each other, it starts out fast sometimes starts out real slow. But that third quarter after halftime, something seems to get lost on what the game plan is supposed to be. I got Mizzou winning this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything like that. Pretty much an even-keeled game, because I think when you lose games the way Mizzou has lost games, that worries on your mind. You want to hold on to the ball. You want to understand the clock situation and the field position. The kicking game will be key in this game in field position. Those are the 2 points I see in this game. I see Mizzou coming out with a win in this one. I really do.
If you look at this, both teams are coming in the last 5, 2-3.
Yeah. But those 5 games should have been probably 4-1.
Yeah. Missouri, if you look at the teams that Missouri lost to, they should have beat Auburn, the fumble at the goal line, 17-14 in overtime. They should have beat number 1 Georgia, but they gave that lead up in the fourth quarter, 26-22.
They had Georgia. Had them.
They should have beat Florida.
Watch your mouth.
24-17.
I ain't giving you that one. He shouldn't have threw the damn ball. The defense was mad about what the offense did. And when you're mad at one side of your team, you're going to go on defense still chirping about what happened that you have nothing to do with, and you get burnt by a play. That's what happened when Mizzou played Florida.
I'm just reading their loss and wins here, Don't get mad at me. They beat Vanderbilt 17-14, and they went into the ugliest stadium in the SEC, and Bryce Williams Stadium, and beat number 25 South Carolina 23-10.
See, I think that win against South Carolina kind of got the program back on an even keel. I think it pretty much got them back. They needed that win. I picked them to win that game as well. And I'm picking them today to win this game against Kentucky, my basketball school, but definitely not my football school.
I just don't like Kentucky in this one. I'm gonna go with Missouri in this one, because I can't just pull the string on Kentucky on this one.
I feel you. Sometimes it bees that way, Tom B. Sometimes it bees that way, Ray. Sometimes.
I'm clipping this stream, LOL.
Yeah, I saw that, my man. Clip on. Clip it off.
Everybody should beat Florida. Hell, Florida even beat themselves. LOL.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with you.
But if you look at Kentucky's last 5 games, they beat NIU, Northern Illinois, 31-23. They lost to number 14 Ole Miss, 22-19. They lost to South Carolina, 24-14. Then they lost to number 16 Mississippi. They beat Mississippi State 27-17. Then they went up to Tennessee and lost 44-6 last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, all righty, brother. Seemed like your team and my team are playing at the same freaking time today. 12 o'clock, ESPN. Florida Gators will go into Kyle College Station, Texas today. Temperature is 60 degrees. 4-4, 1-4 in the SEC for Florida against a Texas A&M 3-5 and 1-4 in the SEC too, and Jimbo Fisher. The key of this game is Florida beats Jimbo Fisher in Texas A&M. Is Jimbo Fisher fired at the end of the season? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, no. Put me on the spot. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to give him the Herm Edwards treatment. He will be escorted off the field right after the game if they drop this game to Florida. As a Florida football Gator, I hope my man, hi, Anthony. I hope he healed from his leg ailment from last week. We've had a little time now since then. This week, we iced it up. I talked to them via satellite on Wednesday after practice, and I talked to him again early Friday morning, and we're feeling about 92 to 95% coming into this game. We need to really work on reading the defense. I think Texas A&M is going to come in with so many different looks and moving parts and pieces on defense to try to confuse Anthony, because they know that he cannot pick up the defense fast enough to understand what's about to happen in the play. And when the breakdown happens, there's no lane for him to run or throw into a sack, a tackle for loss. What's the other one? Throwing the ball out of bounds, which could be an illegal pass because he wasn't out of the lane. Or if he runs, we end up in a situation where he gets hurt trying to be too aggressive. So I need Anthony to realize how to pick up that defensive coverage right away. That's less than 3 seconds. If it's not there, run. And that's how I think Florida going to come in to try to play this game today. And that's how I think Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher is going to try to come out and put pressure on Anthony, because when you put pressure on him, crazy things happen.
Now the question is, how big of a loss for the dismiss of Cox on the defensive side for Florida this week?
It's going to be heavy, but, sometimes the understudy is just as good and knowledgeable in the student. There's somebody that's able to do something better when it comes to the starter and the guy that's being the backup. Maybe he can pick up the run a little fast. Maybe he can pick up the pass a little better. Maybe he's a little bit more agile on run plays or pass plays. But there's something that probably a little bit more sexy to the coach that nobody talks about. But those hidden intangibles will be shown today when he gets the spot. Maybe it's going to be a platoon situation trying to fulfill the needs of Cox. If you break down the numbers and what you're trying to accomplish, when you're losing a key figure on defensive offense, you can't necessarily go and get somebody that's going to be identical. What you're trying to do is make up for that lost player. And you can sometimes get that out of platoon and 2 people back and forth to get that. And it's a fresh look. It's a confusing look. Because on the other hand, A&M hasn't seen the understudies yet. And it's going to be the time to shine when it comes to a situation like that.
Yeah, if you look at this too, on this game here, both teams' quarterback is, I don't know which one is better, Anthony Richards or King. They both got Anthony Richards got 7 TDs and 7 interceptions. King, on the other hand, has got 6 TDs and 6 interceptions. So they're both working at 500, a 50-50 game here on the interception to touchdown ratio here. But on the other hand, Richardson has thrown the ball more, 114 out of 207, 1,638 yards to King's 81 out of 142, 941 yards. So
I think it's my fault. As fans of teams, you like Carolina, I like Florida. I think sometimes we, as fans of teams, we put that winning formula that we've known our school to do in the past, and when they're not doing so well, we automatically revert back to when they were winning, and then we let our frustration go because we look at the program like, if we could have done this in the past, why we can't do this now? Well, college recruiting has definitely changed. Can't leave a bag at the door no more under the damn bridge. You got to do shit the right way. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's, which is fine. I'm fine with that. But what we have there is capable of executing winning plays in winning situations, but it's not. The communication gap is crazy. I don't know if it's the coach, the offensive coordinator, the Wi-Fi, or the inability to understand how to read a playbook or read defense. There's a breakdown somewhere with my Florida football Gators this year. There's a breakdown somewhere.
Now, have you ever seen a team that is favored by 1.5?
Yeah.
Texas A&M is favored by 1.5.
That happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was it was the Alabama game? No. What game was that? It was a 1.5 point favorite like 2 weeks ago. I was like, what? How? Oh, you know what it was? That was that Thursday night football game a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I got that confused right there.
Yeah, over and under in this ball game is 53.5.
Now, what you think is going to happen if A&M wins this game barely, or if A&M
that's a hotline. That's a Florida hotline right there.
Yeah, that was Coach calling me for some in-game thoughts right now. It was like, Dre, I heard what you said. But if Jimbo loses this game, I still want to know how the media darlings are going to roll this and spin this situation here.
I don't know, but if you look at, you know me, I like stats, right? Everybody knows everybody has figured out I like stats. Florida has the advantage in scoring 30 points to 22.6 for Texas A&M. But Texas A&M defense has the advantage because they're only giving up 21.8 to Florida's 29.9. So Florida's giving just about as much points as they are scoring. They're giving up just about that much points in this ballgame.
That's not the problem with Florida. It's like we turn the ball over. You said Anthony has 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. It's where we're throwing the interceptions at. It's the response to the defense on if we're pinpointing them on the other side of the 50. What's going to be our response? The response should not to give up any points, but sometimes we've given up 3 points. Is what we're doing with the ball on the defensive side when we get interception. Either pick 6 or put us in a situation to put points on the board, a touchdown or a field goal situation. That right there is what I'm looking for. When we do make the mistake on offense, we cannot put ourselves in a situation where we cannot recover from that interception or fumble. That's all I want to see happen. Just because you turn the ball over don't mean you have to give up points. I'm going to say that one more time. Just because you turn the ball over does not mean the defense have to give up points. That's all I'm going to say.
And if you look at this, Florida is outgaining them on total yards on offense, 422.8 to Texas A&M, 359.1. If you want to break that down for Florida, 223.8 passing to 199.0 in rushing. If you want to break the 359.1 down for Texas A&M, 235.9 passing to 123.3 thing. But if you look at the defensive side, Florida is giving up 445 yards total defense to 375.8 for total defense for Texas A&M. You want to break Florida's 445 down, is 253.3 on the passing, 191.8 on the thing. But if you want to break Texas A&M defense, their defense is favoring Florida right now because 170.1, they're stingy against the pass, but they allow 205.6 in the rushing on the defensive side. That gives Florida a little bit of advantage on that little bit of a running game they have, of 199 yards. So possibility that you can get that 199 yards. But what I've seen from Florida last week, I was at the Florida-Georgia game. They let Georgia get up too far ahead, and they made a valiant comeback, and then Georgia took over because Florida got tired at the end because they had to make that long climb back in the second half.
Down. I mean, if you wear them down, I mean, they can't execute with big men like that, chasing fast people like that for more than 8 plays. But when you put together a 12 and 14 play drive, my hands on my knees, I'm bending over, I'm pointing at that point in time of the game. But Florida has the advantage to me on the running side because, hi, Anthony, he can run, and plus we got a double-headed monster in the running back field. So that's one way, if the passing game is not working, we can mix things up with some RPOs or just some straight-up option runs or just some straight tosses to the outside. We got to get outside that tackle or inside the tackle to be successful with our running game today. And if Anthony can really turn this thing around with that quick release and understand the defense, he has a very positive day to possibly throw 3 or 4 touchdowns today.
So I got Texas A&M in this game. Who you staying with your Florida Gators?
My Florida football Gators, man. Oh, Gator Nation. Gator Nation.
All right, we're gonna do a quick, and then after we do a quick run through, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna do 10 games quickly, see who wins, and then we're gonna go to a commercial break. And when we come back out of the commercial break, we will be talking about the number 1 Tennessee versus number 3 Georgia, the 3:30 game, started the 3:30 game. So let's get these 10 out of the way here. Minnesota at Nebraska. Who you got?
Give me Nebraska, man. Give me Nebraska.
You're going with the Cornhusker.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go with your man Flink. I'm gonna take Minnesota in this one. Iowa at Purdue. Who you got?
Iowa.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Hawkeyes in this one too. They're playing on the road. So they're playing the Purdue. But I got the Hawkeyes winning because of the defense. Maryland at Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium. Who you got?
Fear of the Turtle. Give me Maryland. Fear of the Turtle.
I'm going to take Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin at Camp Randall is still kind of hard to beat. All right, Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers goes into Charlotte, North Carolina to play the Charlotte 49ers. Who you got?
The Green Wave, baby. Give them Charlotte 49ers. I still believe in my Charlotte. 704 in the building, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to take Charlotte in this one. They proved me wrong last week with their offensive thing under a new interim head coach, so they're playing for him right now. So I think Charlotte will win that game too. There's that Charlotte. Georgia Tech goes into Lane Stadium to play Virginia Tech. Who you got?
Give me Vod Tech, baby. Blacksburg, Virginia.
Yeah, give me the Sandman song interest. Georgia Tech will be scared by the time that song is over. All right, who you got? South Florida at Temple.
Give me South Florida. South FLA. I'm moving there soon, hopefully.
I got South Florida there. All right, Marshall at Old Dominion. Who you got?
We are Marshall and the Thundering Herd, baby.
You got the Thundering Herd. I think Old Dominion takes serves at home. I've got Old Dominion in that one.
Okay.
Baylor at Oklahoma. Who you have?
Deep in the heart of Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma.
I got Oklahoma in this one, too. I don't know. Baylor's been shaky all year. All right. Georgia State at Southern Mississippi. Who you got?
Ooh, the hell with Southern Miss. We all know why.
I got Georgia State, too.
Give me Georgia Southern.
Georgia State? That's what you're playing, Georgia State.
Give me Georgia State.
All right. The last one before we go to break. Middle Tennessee at Louisiana Tech. Who you got?
Give me La Tech in the building. All my people down there in Shreveport, Louisiana area. I got
La Tech, too. All right. So this has been the College Breakdown Show. When we come back, we will be breaking down number 1, Tennessee at number 3, Georgia at number 8, Oregon at Colorado, number 15, Penn State at Indiana. We'll be right back on the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. I am Ray, my good man Dre. We'll be right back after these important words.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Nah, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports, All College Breakdown. My co-host getting settled in back in his thing. We're going to bring him a little bit of Rocky Top in here a little bit here. We got the next game coming up here. Our next game in the College Breakdown segment is the number 1 Tennessee in the college playoff ranking versus number 3 Georgia. And I'm going to bring my co-host back in here. The man, the myth, the legend, the Florida Gator himself, Dre Montez.
Big
Where's
balls,
that, buddy?
Big ball Saturday.
Yeah.
What's going on, my man Ray? And happy birthday to STL Pressure. Coach Pat, happy birthday to you. AAU basketball coach here in the St. Louis area. Happy birthday to you. I like this matchup. I do. But I kind of wish this was last week for Halloween. Did you see them uniforms that Tennessee wore? Did you see that entrance when they formed the T? Did you see them fireworks? You see that pregame?
Yeah, I saw it.
Man, something else. But this game got so much written all over it. We already know what Georgia can do. We already know what Stetson Bennett about. We already know what the coaching staff is capable of, the defensive side, how fast Georgia is on the defensive side, how they are running back you now at UGA. On the other side, you got this kid Hooker who's doing things that he knew he could do, but nobody else believed in him. And now he's at a program that's pretty much giving him the full realm of things and the helm of things to run at this school. This could be a big day for him and Tennessee, but I think there's a little bit too much excitement and hype, kind of like last year with Pitt, how Pitt was chirping a little bit too much. The student body, the fan base, and even some of the players got involved in that. And for what I'm seeing from Tennessee, some of Tennessee fan base think they've already won this game, and the game has not even been played yet. Now, UGA has been in this situation before, and they handled it very well, and they really dotted the I by winning the national championship. I don't think the game is that high of a significance for Georgia coming in as it is for Tennessee, because Tennessee is seeing the bigger picture of this, trying to take over the SEC if they win this game today.
All right, my friend. This game is at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. It's 76 degrees today.
It looks like it, too.
Number one, Tennessee is 8-0, 4-0 in the SEC. Georgia's ranked number 3, 8-0, 5-0 in the SEC. My friend, what did you think Kirby Smart showed the Bulldogs in the locker room? The college playoff ranking, showing that they were disrespected, moving them down to number 3.
Yeah, I would do that too. That's what you have to do. You got to make these kids understand what the numbers of the game mean. You're going to make us number 3? Oh, well, let me go out here and show you what a number 3 team plays like then. They're going to walk and try to beat the brakes off of them.
And I'm going to tell you what happened when they did this with Alabama, jumped Georgia that one game going into the SEC championship. What did Georgia do to Alabama in the SEC championship?
Destroyed it. That running back, man. They will run you in the ground. And they have on the defensive side. They have 300-pound men that can run a 4.5 40.
Right now, the best running back on Georgia's team is Edwards. But the most effective running back on the team is McIntosh.
And they got 2 more behind that. What Georgia has in the mechanism of the running back game the next, I say 3 to 5 years, unfathomable. Unfathomable what's coming into Georgia for its running backs.
But when Georgia runs their running backs, they do it in a way that they are more effective. Edwards is effective in the first quarter. They'll go away from him in the second a little bit. Put McIntosh in there in the second. So you got a heavy guy in the first. You got a faster guy in the second. Third quarter, they do a mixture with 3 more running backs they add into the mixture in the third quarter. But sometimes when they do that, their offense gets stale like they did against Florida in that third quarter because they changed too much times in that running back formation. Kirby Smart has now said that he's not changing the way he's going to coach in this ballgame because he says people dictate what Tennessee does in the passing game. Georgia will not let a team dictate what they do on the defensive side. Georgia will be coming after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Will be coming after the quarterback with the same pressure, even though their best linebacker is out for this game or out for the season. Yes. It doesn't change. It does not change one bit. He don't care if he has the best linebacker out there or if he don't have the best linebacker. He does not change for anything because he figures his defense is going to be dominant against Hendon Hooker.
And then one thing about Georgia's defense, in the battle of the moment, when it looks like the defense is giving up too much, that leadership comes on the field in the form of a player, not a coach, that's telling them, hey, let's get it together here. And that defense responds well when they're put to the test and they don't have time to look to the side, get a TV timeout to get some refreshing advice from coach when it's going to come from somebody on the field. That's what I like that Georgia does too as well. Again, Georgia has been in this position before, whether it be an underdog or barely a favorite. And what coach told them this week, that is something to use as momentum, as they say. They already have the momentum by playing at home in Athens, Georgia. And the fact, all the hype being on Tennessee, that leads to the momentum factor leading to Georgia.
And what's so good about the running game for Stetson Bennett is he doesn't have to force throws downfield. Sometimes he does to get onto the thing because of what he did against Florida. When the running game got slacked days ago in the third quarter, it forced Stetson Bennett to throw the ball. He had some picks, but he also had some overthrows.
I can't give him that one touchdown on that tip. I can't give him that. To the tight end, I can't give you that. That was luck.
No, it was called tip drill. Come on, man.
Man, that ball got tipped
drill
5 times and he caught it. He barely knew he caught the ball. They're going to say, oh, great concentration. That's what I call a receiver, a tight end that knows what he's doing. You need players like that to play on Sundays.
Well, what do you expect? Hey, what do you expect the answer to say? Man, okay. He lucky caught the ball and ran for a touchdown.
Hey, that's what they're called a lucky catch, kids. Right there, lucky catch.
But once again, that catch was in front of me on the sideline when he did it. So I was up in the nosebleed section on that same sideline when he tipped it.
I saw you.
Well, I was in the Georgia section, you know.
Oh,
I'm not sitting in your Gator section. They're too brutal over there. They want to fight you.
That's everybody in college football. You like Michigan walking in the locker room. You're an idiot.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that when we get to Michigan. We're going to talk about that fight, too. I want to get your opinion on that. So they keep it on the back burner right now. But you got Stetson Bennett, a Hollywood movie guy who's going to write a script about his life, could easily sell out a movie. Hendon Burker can do the same thing, writing a story about him leaving Virginia Tech and going to Tennessee and becoming a good right quarterback with a Heisman hopeful. This game will take a lot for him in the Heisman race if he can beat Georgia in Athens. Do you agree?
Yeah, this game could speak volumes if Tennessee can win this game. If Tennessee blows them out, I'm talking about outplay Georgia and wins by more than 10, it's going to do great things for them. If they play a close game and lose, they're not going to drop as low in the rankings, though, if it's a very, very close game. But as we pointed out to this matchup on Hendon Hooker, he can throw the ball and he can run the ball. And he's pretty quick in making up his mind what he's going to do. His decision-making is very, very, very good. He knows how to throw the ball away, too. I like that about him. But it's an emotional side of the game. We haven't seen a game him play when things are not going his way. Receivers not catching the ball, can't break away. He can't really get his run game going. The offense kind of stagnant. Haven't seen that side of Tennessee football yet. I want to see can they overcome that hump.
Now the question is, he's been awfully choreographed as a better upgrade Michael Vick style player.
I can't. No.
The reason he's like that is because remember Michael Vick wrist throws?
Yeah.
Hendon Burker does the same thing.
Yeah.
His wrist throws.
Yeah, but I don't think it has the same velocity and distance as Vick. I understand the Vick comparison, not just because they're the same race, but the flicking of the ball. But to me, I don't see just the flick. No. I need to see more if you're going to compare Michael Vick to him. Maybe Marcus Vick.
No.
Michael Vick.
No.
Yeah.
Marcus didn't have
this. To me, is his own. He's his own version of himself out there. I don't see him.
I'm just telling what people are comparing him to. I didn't compare. I compared him to him. No, I don't compare him to Michael Vick. That's what other people are saying.
I can't see that. No.
That's what other people are saying, not me. Hendon Booker is Hendon Booker himself. I don't compare people to other people, man. It's just asinine. Even
they say, "Oh man, he kind of reminds me of." How does he remind you of him? How?
You can't. And I mean, the only reason is because of skin color, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in skin color. I don't believe in all that.
I've never said to nobody, you remind me of my ex-wife. Never.
I'm going to tell you, nobody reminds me of my ex-wife. Except when you watch these videos of gold diggers. That's what she reminds me of. But that's all right.
Military men and their ex-wives and ex-husbands talk, man. It's just crazy to me. Oh, my God. We all been married twice before we learn how to drive. That's crazy.
I mean, if you look at this, Wright for Tennessee carries the ball 92 times, 478 yards, but Edwards carried the ball for Georgia, 71 carries for 440 yards. Wright has 5 touchdowns. Edwards has 7 touchdowns. Edwards makes his count because he scores touchdowns. So... But if you look at the receiving yards, Hyatt for Tennessee, 45 receptions, 907 yards, 14 touchdowns. And Bauer is leading as a tight end, as a receiver, 31 receptions, 547 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The question is, does Tennessee have the defense that can match when Byers goes into a running formation?
Tennessee has proven us this season they can stop the run. They're prepared for the run. I like that, but can they do that with a team that's prepared to do that the whole game, though? See, Tennessee has made adjustments with teams, the passing game. They're trying to shake it up, do a little run play, and Tennessee has stepped up to the test. But with a team such as Georgia, who's been in this situation before, and Stinson Bennett, 12-year college student, I feel as though they're prepared to get over any situation that Tennessee tries to bring at them defensively.
Now, when we told you about how the motivation of Kirby Smart could show them that they were 3 in the college playoff, on the other hand, Josh Heupel was going to show them the point spread. Georgia's favored by 9 points in this ball game. Tennessee is an underdog.
Josh Heupel. I can't believe how far this kid has come in his knowledge of football, value and talent, and how to utilize the talent. I can't believe it. This could be a big day for Tennessee, man, but I don't want Tennessee thinking they won this game already. I like the motivation of showing the kids the point spread. I like that. But that is Tennessee, and half of them don't know what a point spread is. So.
Well, if you look at this, Tennessee, 49.4 a game to 41.8 for Georgia. Tennessee's defense allows 21 points. Georgia's defense only allows 10.5.
Well, we saw what Georgia defense can do when it comes to lacking in the game, their game against Mizzou. Don't know if that was planned, if Vegas had something to do with it, Coach Brother had money on the line, but that did not explain all them yards that Georgia gave up, the way they gave up those points. I don't see a high-scoring affair today. I don't. I see big plays being made, trying to turn it into a shootout, but I think they're going to calm it down. I don't think this is a shootout game. I think they're going to try to contain it and slow it down.
Our boy Chris says, good morning, fellas. Keep up the great work. You're on fire, on fire.
Appreciate it, Chris. Appreciate it.
And then Damian King's back and said Georgia will blow out Tennessee 45-10. I don't think they'll blow them out.
45-10?
I know they playing between the hedges up in Athens, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think Georgia came in and said it's going to be a blowout.
45-10 can only mean one thing: Hooker gets hurt.
Now this is the question right here. This is the thing I want to show you here about this. Georgia defense is only giving up 262.6 yards to Tennessee 393.6. But the way Tennessee gives up the yards is 300.8 yards passing, only allowing 92.9 yards rushing. Georgia only gives up 177.1 yards passing and only gives up 85.5 yards rushing.
Yep.
So if you look at the defensive thing, it's tell the two tapes here. Georgia doesn't give up big yards on big plays on the passing game, and they don't give up big yards and big chunks on the running game. Tennessee will give you big chunks on the passing game, but minimize your rushing game under 100 yards. We know Georgia likes to run. We know Stetson Bennett can throw the ball, but they don't like to go to him all game long throughout.
Right.
So, which style of play will enter this game more than the other team's style of play?
I think it all depends on how the game starts in the first quarter. The first quarter is going to dictate the speed of this game and the play style with Tennessee as well as Georgia. I think Tennessee should come out throwing the ball as opposed to running the ball. And I think that Georgia should come out. I think Georgia will come out running the ball as opposed to passing the ball because they heard how anxious on the corners on defense how Tennessee is.
Now,
early pick six could hurt.
Now, if you're wanting the common opponents here and so far in this season, it's the Florida game. Tennessee beat Florida 38-33. That was in Knoxville. Georgia goes to Jacksonville, Florida, and play in the big cocktail and beat them 42-20. That's the common opponents right there. That's the total which you see between the two teams. So, how do you take your synopsis as a Gator fan and turn your analysis around from your game against Tennessee and your game against Georgia? Which team was better against your team?
I think Tennessee was much better against us. We had winning opportunities against Georgia. We saw a lack in their defense. We saw a lack in when Stetson Bennett is put up under pressure and he tries to throw back across his body. We saw an advantage point in that. With Tennessee really stepped up their game in slowing Florida down, putting Florida in situations they're uncomfortable with, i.e., throwing the ball, not understanding the defense. That's what I saw by both of these teams playing Florida. I know Georgia beat us in the largest outdoor cocktail party, but we had a chance to win that game by those things I mentioned. And when we played Tennessee, they flat out whooped our ass that whole game. They improved on everything possible when facing Florida. I really think the film squad put together something on the way Florida has beaten Tennessee the past 5 times. If you can stop these things here, guys, you can beat Florida. I really think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you too on that, and that thing too. And then a good friend here, Damien, said, "I don't see how Tennessee is in the playoff picture when they haven't faced a string team. Yay, they beat Alabama, but let's be real, they beat up Alabama team. I guess that's what it's a train."
We can't blame when a team injuries are part of the game, part of the season, what's going to happen. Like today, Texas A&M and Florida. There's a lot of guys out from A&M. I think 6 to 8 players out today due to the flu. We know what happens in October and November. Kids in college get the flu. It's part of the game. I can't blame injuries on why teams lose in college football no more. Can't do it.
Yeah. And then, Dre says, thank you to guys out here who's thing, and he said, he said Alabama team, he meant. And then I said, I agree with Dre. Thank you, everyone who makes this show great. So, we're getting some shout out to our fans here. Keep commenting. We'll bring them up here. We'll read them, and we'll either agree with you or we'll tell you why we don't agree with you. We are straight up shooters here. That's the way we were brought up, and we're straight up shooters. So
that is.
But if you look at Tennessee has beaten more ranked teams than Georgia has played so far.
Yeah. The early part of the SEC schedule can either benefit you or hurt you. And by the time we get to trying to figure out the playoff rankings, that issue comes up. Well, they hadn't played nobody. Well, their schedule is tougher the way the season. Well, the second half now we'll know. It's November. Whether you're the Big 12 or the SEC or the ACC, November is one of the most impactful months that can help or hurt your college program.
Now, are you surprised that the temperature of this game time is 76 degrees, even though Athens is up in the mountain areas of Georgia in the fall?
I'm glad it's not hot, a scorcher. I like this. It's comfortable. Not too many people going to cramp up. You get a lot of women out there. You can tell if the turkey done or not. So I like this weather. I like this weather right now. I really do. That's good weather to watch football. Good drinking weather, good tailgating weather, good football weather. Like it.
Now it's time to put you on the spot. Who you taking in this ball game?
Oh, man. my good friend Cassie Joe and her man Larry, L. Ari, the Georgia fans. UGA has not done anything wrong this year. Tennessee has done everything that's right. But I need to be proven wrong. So I'm going to go with UGA in this game. I'm going to go with UGA.
So if you're looking at in this ball game here, I think UGA is going to take a bite out of Smokey, the Tennessee's dog today.
We love animals, guys. We love dogs.
We love dogs, but then again, you got a dog called Smokey for Tennessee, and you got Unga, the dog. But you got one that's a mascot parading as a dog, and you got one that's parading as a dog and a mascot, but they got a real dog too. So, both teams got real dogs here. Does Tennessee bring Smokey to the game today? The real dog, not the mascot, the real dog.
I don't know, but Smokey still looks like McGruff, the crime dog, to me. So I need to see them standing side by side to prove me wrong on that. And if Tennessee tried to steal UGA last night, that would be an awesome story. Because I remember one year Florida tried to steal UGA, and it was a hilarious story.
Yeah, why you talk about stealing stuff? We know, I know this ain't basketball season, but we know North Carolina and Duke, they always like to steal stuff. Did you know that Carolina stole one of Duke's banner and put it on Interstate 85? Hung it up on the bridge?
Yeah, I remember hearing that story.
And then you had Duke fans go over there and steal a couple things from North Carolina and then put it in Coach K's office. So, in two pictures. So you talking about some stealing stuff? Yeah, you got some rivalries that like stealing stuff, yeah. Yeah, but so we got this out of the way. Let's go with the Bo Nix, who made a story that said that if Oregon was playing Georgia now, that Oregon will beat Georgia. So they got to take on Colorado today. So Bo Nix, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to blow out Colorado today.
Yes.
Do they do it?
He needs to pitch a shutout today. And all levels of the offensive scheme of the game, offensive efficiency, passer rating, touchdowns, no picks. He needs to go out and play a perfect game by saying some ill-advised shit like that.
Now the question is, they're playing up in Colorado, Boulder, Colorado. Does Bo Nix get a little puff pass on his little system before the game time?
If he passed something my way, he should. But of course, I don't think they can do that though. As college students, they watch that, they police that shit. I don't know.
They do drug tests.
In Colorado, it really is. It definitely is for sure.
All right, Oregon is favored by the ESPN Analytics matchup predictor, 95.6 to 4.4 for Colorado. Bo Nix is 180 out of 249, 2,221 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. JT Strutt, 56 out of 130, 729 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Oregon's running back has got the favorite in this one, too. 89 carries, 568 yards, 2 touchdowns to Smith. Colorado, 70 carries, 354 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Oregon got the receiving core as Franklin with 38 receptions, 595 yards, and 5 touchdowns to Tyson, 17 receptions, 333 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So if they got all aspects of the offense and Bo Nix, the rusher, and the receiver. The point spread in this game is unbelievable. 31-point favorite by Oregon. 63 and over. Over and under is 63. Do you take the point spreads and then the over and under in this ball game?
I'm going to challenge Bo. Give me them damn points. I'm going to challenge him. Give me them points. I'm calling my bookie right now.
Well, if you look at the points per game, Oregon is scoring 42.4. Colorado dismal offense is 16.3. Colorado's defense is giving up 39.1. Oregon's defense is giving up 28.4. Offense is 3-1. Offensive ratio 525.8 to 295.3 for Colorado. If you break it down, Oregon is passing the ball 290, rushing the ball 235. Colorado's passing the ball 182 to 113. But Oregon's defense is only giving up 386 total yards to 483 for Colorado. And you want to break that down, Oregon is giving up 283 on passing yards to 106 on rushing. And Colorado's getting up 246 in the passing and 237 on the running. So Oregon can run the ball and pass the ball today in this game.
They should. They should be able to do all of that.
The question is, how many times will you see the RPO in this ball game for Oregon?
80% of the time.
80% of the time? Give me a number. You gotta give me a number because that's I'm thinking if I want to bet on the prop. The prop bet, how many times RPO does Oregon run today? Just give me a number.
25.
All right, they set it at 35, so I'll go under the 35 then.
Under 35? Okay.
So we got to keep track of that. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of that because the Tennessee game comes on the same time. So, damn. But if you look at this, Oregon at the last 5 is undefeated in their last 5 games. They beat the likes of Washington State 44-41, Stanford 45-27, Arizona 49-22. They beat number 9 UCLA 45-30, and they beat Cal 42-24. If you're looking at the last 5 for Colorado, they're 1-4. They're 1-4. They lost to UCLA 45-17. They lost to Arizona 43-20. They beat Cal 20-13 in overtime. They lost to Oregon State 42-9, and they lost to Arizona State 42-34 in the last game. Temperature in this game will be 47 degrees. Playing in Boulder, Colorado, above sea level.
Wait a minute. Hold on. That changes everything. What's the temperature?
47 degrees.
And this is
in Colorado, above Colorado. Sea level.
Oregon playing Colorado, and Nick's just came from Auburn, right?
Yep.
Holy shit. It's the coldest game he's ever played in. That's a mitigating factor there, buddy. That's cold weather. I'm gonna stay with the points right there. Yeah, that's a mitigating factor. This is a doable win for me.
So who you got? You got Oregon?
No. I'm taking what's name with the points. Colorado.
Yeah, but I'm talking about straight up pick 'em. I pick 'em.
Straight up pick 'em.
Yeah.
I'm taking Oregon, but gambling wise, I got money on Colorado winning this game.
Yeah, we don't bet against sports spreads in this game, or else we all crap out of luck.
We'd have put so many people out homeless, calling the gamblers hotline. Ray and Dre told me.
No, guys, we do straight up pick 'em here. We're not going to do we'll give you the point spreads on the side, but we don't do the point spreads. If we did that, we'd be like 503 or something like that.
Oh my God.
We'd probably be 0 and something. Yeah. I don't think we got the point spread right yet this year.
What was that? 3 weeks in a row, I lost my ass off when I went to I did the point spread for 3 weeks in a row. No, I'm back to my over-under now.
All right, let's continue on here. Number 15, Penn State at Indiana. What do you see in this ball game today?
Penn State is it has been turning things around slowly. I like their linebacking core is coming back to linebacker you a little bit. Not the days of the 90s, but it's coming back just a little bit. They're a little bit more disciplined football team than what earlier in the year from week 0 to now. But they always play an interesting matchup with Indiana all the time, every time, whether it's volleyball or this football matchup. But I got Penn State winning this game. What did he say?
He said, look at Big Sexy Ray. And then he said, Ray, we will take care of the Colts for you guys tomorrow. Hey, we were 1-1 against the Colts, so, we took care of our home record. So
Colts don't have a quarterback anyway.
Yeah. So, in this game right here, this game is played at Memorial Stadium in Blooming, Indiana. 64 degrees in Blooming, Indiana. Indiana comes in at 3-5, 1-4 in the Big Ten. Penn State comes in at 6-2, 3-2 in the Big Ten. They lost to Ohio State and they lost to Michigan in the Big Ten. So, get back to this game here. If they ain't playing, nobody says Ohio State or that. Penn State is better than most of the Big Ten teams.
Yeah. Them the only 2 matchups that they have to really make you believe in the blue and white is those 2 matchups right there.
Yeah,
but today
they lost. because he lost to number 5 Michigan 41-17, and he lost last week number 2 Ohio State. Played Ohio State pretty good, 44-31 and 44-31. But they beat Minnesota 45-17. They beat Northwestern 17-7. So, well, I'd say they're better than most of the SEC, the Big Ten team. So, does Penn State get back on the winning track today?
I think this is a good team and a good game to possibly do that. I think the advantage is definitely with Penn State.
I got Penn State too, you know.
No creativity lines today, none.
Let's talk about a little issue here with Michigan State. Michigan State is going into number 16 Illinois today at 3:30 Big Ten. Let's talk about the Michigan State and Michigan fight real quick. Okay. And the players that have been charged. And we have heard that one parent of the Michigan player is found a charge of assault against the player at Michigan State. So
I've been looking for the video. Can't find it. On why he walked in there without a helmet on. Did he know somebody from the hood that he grew up with? He used to play Pop Warner with and wanted to go in there and speak to him. Hey, what up, Jalen? And somebody took it the wrong way. There's more. There has to be more than 4 players. There were 9 people in the photo. And then the one dude with the long braids, who the fuck is he? Who is he?
Don't know.
There's so many things that went on in that, man. But when rivalry games happen, we don't know what's amping these kids up. And majority of these kids have played against each other on the high school level. They've been together some of these camps, these 707 camps. Some come from the same neighborhood. You know the problem we had at Florida, Miami, and who was it? Florida State. All 3 of them schools a couple of years ago had players that went to rival high schools. Security had to be amped up at these games because what these kids are bringing in there is not the rivalry conversation that we think they're having about the game that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They're talking about more what happened in the neighborhood and what happened before the game. But that ass beating that kid got from Michigan, look here. I'm not pointing blame at nobody. I have questions on how did you end up in that position with no helmet on and you the only one they grab. It don't look like a pedophile moment picking up a kid, snatching a kid off the streets. To me, it seems like there was a conversation going on and maybe somebody took what up the wrong way. Like in being cocky with the wind, like what up? Like in the movie Purple Rain. When Morris Day slid back in there and said, how's the family? You throwing shade. You trying to get knocked out. So I don't know what was said verbally, but just from the video, it looked like it was a bad decision made by a kid.
Yeah, to me, there's no place in fighting in football. I don't care who you are, Michigan or Michigan State or anybody. I don't condone fighting. I think it's just bad sportsmanship because I am a sportsmanship kind of guy. So I just think it's really bad thing. So we're going to go ahead and take another break here. When we get back, we're going to go from Michigan State, Illinois, number 16, Illinois. We're going to do rapid fire all the way down till we get to the Wake Forest NC State game. And that's going to be our spotlight game of the day for this college breakdown. We only got about 15 more minutes before the noon kickoff. And we only got almost an hour, a little bit less than an hour for the 11:30 kickoff here. So I am Ray. I am Dre. This is the College Breakdown Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
Whole sports all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray. I am Dre. No, that's my brother. Yes, you see the hair resemblance. You know, got the hair resemblance. Yeah, I grew hair while we were at the break. You know,
that's that new growth.
The new growth. Nah, you know, Dre has these hats right here. You know, go for sale. You know, you got to support my man Dre. You know, go ahead and show your little love and your little QDR code here. We'll put it up here live and profiling here for you.
For sure. I appreciate that too. For sure.
As soon as he gets up in the window, we'll put it up on the big screen so y'all can see it. So y'all can love it. Y'all can take a picture of it.
Let me know how you feel. What you think.
Got to support his show, man. You got to support his show. There you go, man. Just hold it up a little bit over to the side. There you go, right there. Hold it right there. Now you can take a picture of the QDR code. You take that picture of that lovely QDR code. I'm going to take a picture of it real quick. Just hold it up real quick, and now I can show you how fast this thing really is here. Just take the picture of the QR code here, and you just hit your little open fire here. And then let's see here. It's going to bring it up here in a momentarily here. There you go, man. And there it is. That's what it is right here. Let's see. There you go. Let me get it on the screen here. I pull up on the screen here. There you go right there. That's what the QDR takes you to right there.
Appreciate it. We'll have the hats up there soon. The hats will be available soon. Stand by, stay tuned for that, but the hats will be available. They will have Dre Montez on the front or the website, DreMontez.com.
Yeah, I'm profiling right now. This is his prototype. He sent it to me on a bet, and we got the 1,000 stars from Mr. Norris. Thank you very much on it. But, yeah, I mean, I'm his model right now. You see how it looks on the man right here. You know,
we're going to have the khaki hat,
guy right here.
Black hat, the white hat, and I think a brown hat, a darker brown. It's going to be 4 different hats you get to choose from.
Cool.
So looking forward to that.
Look like Dre, man. You can look like Dre, man. Dre got his own style and put it in his own style. Got his own merchandise. He got his own merch. You know, you can go to his podcast. You can go to his shows. Like Dre. Dre's a fun-loving guy. He shows a lot of love on all our shows here on the All Sports All Plays Network every day.
And we got, man. We got to support each other, live streamers and podcasters. We got to stick together because these Hollywood athletes keep stepping in our shit.
Yeah.
They stay in their damn lane. You're already famous, you greedy son of bitches.
But sometimes our shows are more fun than their shows.
Yeah, the famous people got blockbuster movies. You doing a podcast? What the hell? You get paid $3.5 million to do TV, but you doing a podcast? Get on up out of here.
But I mean, we go ahead. All right, who you got winning the Michigan State and Illinois game?
I can never root for Michigan State for obvious reasons, so I'm going with Illinois.
I got Illinois too. How about number 18, Oklahoma State, get back on the winning track against Kansas?
In the words of my good people down there in OK, I got to go with OK State. And I know Kansas is on fire right now. Kansas is on fire, but I got to go with OK State.
All right, number 20, Syracuse. Does it get back on track against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, because Q's had a good game plan. You know, I didn't know Cuse was that good into that game with Notre Dame. I did not know they were that good until I watched that game. They had a lot of speed, a lot of flying colors, a lot of missing pieces. Everybody comes back in the next 2-3 weeks. Let's get real interesting in the final stretch for Syracuse. But I got Syracuse winning this game.
I got Pitt's winning this game because due to the fact that the running back for Pitt is mad because he fumbled the ball against North Carolina and it gave the game away to North Carolina. So I think he's going to come back on fire. It is playing at Pitt. I think Notre Dame has showed how you can beat Syracuse with a dominant running game. So I think that's what's going to happen in this ball game. Pitt will get back on the winning track on this one. All right, number 25, UCF makes the top 25 this week. Going up into Memphis to play Memphis at 3:30 on ESPN2. Who you got in this ball game?
Give me UCF. You know, everybody knows I wants to be a Florida resident, so I got to let the people down there know that I'm rooting for UCF.
I became a Florida resident when I moved down here in 2010. It saved me some tax money on double taxing my military pay. So, you know, that's one good thing right there.
Winning on all levels, Ray. I'm coming down there soon. I'm moving to Florida soon, baby. Getting the hell up out of there.
Washington State at Stanford. Who gets the win today?
Stanford and Georgia Tech has me concerned as well these programs at now. Stanford had so much going for them. I don't know what has happened since Andrew Luck left. Something. Yeah, Kevin Simpson there. Sampson, he's still there. It is. I'm gonna give Stanford a chance. I'm rooting for Stanford today. I'm rooting for Stanford. I'm pulling for Stanford.
They're playing at Stanford. Stanford's got a running game. Washington is up and down. I'm going to go with Washington State in this one.
Okay.
All right, West Virginia at Iowa State at 3:30, Big 12.
You know how I feel about the WV. Archie. I wish Archie make up his mind and go there instead of going to Texas.
He's going to Texas. So.
I want him to
He's
go
going to the highest bidder.
He already went there. He already signed.
Yeah, he's highest bidder, man.
I'm going to go with West Virginia in this one.
I'm going to go with Iowa State because they're playing at home.
Okay.
New Mexico at Utah State, 3:30, CBS Sports Network. You going with the Aggies?
State. Yeah, give me Utah.
Yeah, you going with the Aggies?
I met a woman from Utah when I went to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Utah State in this one too. UTSA at UAB. Does UAB get back on the winning track?
They playing in Birmingham?
Yep.
I'm going to go with UAB.
I'm going to go with the other way around. I'm going to go with UTSA.
University of Texas, San Antonio. On it.
All righty. Huge freeze. Liberty goes into Fayetteville, Arkansas to play Arkansas today at 4 o'clock on the SEC network. Who you got winning today's game?
Well, I didn't know the history of Liberty University until this past week. I watched the Hulu documentary about Jerry Falwell III and Liberty University. Wow. Had no idea. And then the football program, so many questions. But I cannot go against my family, that being Arkansas, depending on what part of the country you're from. I'm going with Arkansas.
I'm going with Liberty. I just need to get you some. I need to get some wins to get back into this thing. I got to make it interesting. So this could be a throwaway win for you right here.
Liberty Mutual. Liberty.
Navy at Cincinnati. Who you got?
Let's go Navy.
Yeah, I got Navy too.
Let's go Navy. There's no need to talk about it and discuss it.
South Alabama at Georgia Southern today.
Georgia Southern.
I'm going to take South Alabama. You got Georgia Southern. All right. Florida International at North Texas.
North Texas. I like the stories that come out of North Texas.
I'm going to take North Texas in this one too. All right. Troy at Louisiana.
Give me Louisiana.
I'm going to take the men of Troy.
Men of Troy.
Texas State at University of Louisiana Monroe.
Give me Texas State.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas State in this one too. Number 6, Alabama at number 10, LSU.
It's a night game.
7 o'clock game.
This down in Baton Rouge.
According to LSU fans, this is the real Death Valley. According to LSU fans. According to Clemson, they got the Death Valley because they got the actual Death Valley Rock sitting in their stadium.
I've been to both, man, and they both are very intense. Very intense. And this being a night game is totally different than a day game. Totally different. Oh, man. See, Brian Kelly and that damn Jimbo Fisher pissed me off because they got in their feelings at that coaches meeting before the season started. And things have never been right with LSU and A&M or Bama since all three of them got in their little tug and pull. What would this do? LSU has nothing to lose. I'm being logical right now instead of answering the point. I'm figuring this thing out of my mind. You know what? I know how this dude responds for embarrassment. I'm going with Bama.
Bama has a lot to lose because if Bama loses this one, they could be out of the college playoff race. And then it gives LSU wide open field for the SEC championship too.
But here's the thing. It's what's I gonna say?
Bob Scott said, "What's up, brothers?
What's up? What's up?" If LSU wins this and they knock Alabama out, that's the thing. Leading up to this game, Nick Saban's already had that talk with his coaches and his players on what can happen. Don't get caught up in the media. Do your job. So I can imagine how practice went this week. They probably played 2 full games this week, knowing Bama. They probably practicing right now. That's how bad and pissed off that man is. He does not like to be embarrassed or proven wrong or any doubt. Those are 3 things that Nick Saban he don't mess around on that. So I think they'll come out more focused. I don't want to hear about injuries. Next man up, you better be ready. Got to have the right package on the field. And sometimes that's not Nick Saban's fault. It's communication upstairs, communication on the sidelines, and players got to be paying attention. I got Bama winning this game.
I got LSU winning this game because of the quarterback situation at LSU. He's a great dynamic runner. And if he gets on a hot streak and passing, he's double trouble. And guess what gives Alabama defense fits? A dual threat quarterback. Yeah. Who can outrun Willie Anderson, the defensive end for Alabama. So if Willie Anderson gets out of his point of attack and don't rush up the field and goes diagonally at him, Daniel Daniels could have a big running game because Alabama's man-to-man defense the corners are looking at the wide receivers, and if he breaks that initial contact, he can run for days.
I got a package to go open the door for. Be right back.
All right.
Take me off camera 1 sec.
All right, while he's going to take care of that. So I got LSU, he's got Alabama in that. When he gets back, we'll be talking about number 24 Texas at number 13 Kansas State. We're going to fast rapid that all the way down to past the Wake Forest game, and then we're going to come back to the Wake Forest North Carolina State. That's our highlight game of the week here on the All Sports All Plays Network. I want to give some shout outs to the Sports Club. We're coming live on their Facebook group page right now, showing them some love. The guys got it going. If you want a sports group to go into the Sports Club. Look at Sports Club on Facebook. There's a bunch of college Facebook groups that I am with and we send shows into. We give all the people the shout outs and stuff like that. So if you want your sports group, just come in here and tag it in and we'll do it. My main man, Dre, is back. We're going to bring him back on the camera. Mr. Dre himself.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to split the camera back this way. I like it this way better.
There we go.
Anyway, so Mr. number 24, Texas, number 13, K-State. Who you got?
Oh, Texas. What's Texas' record one more time?
5-3.
I'm going with K-State, man. I want the whole program to fall apart. I don't want them to win no more games. I want Arch Manning to get with his dad and say, "You sure about this, Dad?"
Well, right now we don't know the health of Martinez. Right now he's questionable. They have not said if he's going to start or play. So I give Texas the advantage on this one. Texas with Robertson, the running back, is going to have an advantage. I think Texas win this ball game today. My boy Rob Scott says Alabama's going to win. He said, who y'all got in the Tennessee-Georgia game? We both picked Uga. We say Georgia's going to win. We said Georgia's going to take the bite out of Smokey today. So there you go, Rob.
The mascot or the real one.
Yeah. So BYU at Boise State. Who you got?
Got to go with the kids that are not allowed to put out. That being Brigham Young.
Yeah, I got Brigham Young in that one. UNLV at San Diego State.
Marshall Falk in the building. Give me them Aztecs of San Diego State.
Yeah, I'm gonna take San Diego State. They didn't do too hot for us last week. I think they're gonna win today. All righty. Houston at SMU. This is on the NFL Network at 7:00 tonight. Who you got?
Man, back in the day, Ray, this would be a shootout. When David Klinger was there and SMU had that running game and that crazy defense, this would probably be a 77-82 game.
Yeah.
And I'm not lying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not lying at all. But I got to take Houston. Give me Houston.
I'm going to take SMU in this one. They're playing at SMU. All right, number 4, Clemson at Notre Dame. On NBC, the Peacock.
They on the road.
Yep.
Man, isn't what's my man name there? The coach at Clemson?
Dabo Swinney.
Dabo is what, 61-2 on the road at Clemson?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they going into Notre Dame, and they still got the quarterbacking issue at Notre Dame. I don't think that – I need to check his ID. He looks like Lucas, just black, from the movie Lucas with Corey Haim back in the day. Not Corey Haim. What's his name? That was Corey Haim. Yeah. He looks does not look like he's old enough to be a quarterback at Notre Dame. But if they got their original quarterback there, it could be like a stagnant game into the second half. And I see Clemson coming out on all levels because Dabo does not like being doubted when he doesn't have the caliber players that he wants, but they're performing. And now you have the media and the naysayers when it came out on the playoff ranking. Now he's going to go out today, try to prove his point.
Rob Scott said he got Clemson with the win. I got Clemson with the win. The fact is, in this ball game is Notre Dame now has to get ready for 2 quarterbacks because you don't know which one's going to play.
Right.
You don't know which one's going to start, which one's going to finish. Exactly. So Notre Dame's got a problem because they got to prepare for 2 quarterbacks.
The Golden Domers, as I like to call them. My good buddy Jay, who lives down there in FLA, he's a big Notre Dame fan, but I think Clemson is on pace now.
The 2 wins they have against ACC, one against North Carolina, they overpowered North Carolina's offensive line, ran the ball effectively, and had the tight end there. You cannot do that against Clemson. They did that against Syracuse. You cannot do that against Clemson. Clemson is physical up front. They got corners. Even though the corners are young, they're feisty. They will play with your wide receivers. They got a linebacker who could cover up there for them. And then you got Miles, who's now getting effectively in the blitz package up front. So
I tell you this right now. I think Clemson may be the only ACC team to me that plays like an SEC team sometimes. They play with that nasty tenacity, get after you, dog, and want to attack you on the offensive side and not let up.
Well, you got to think
like that.
You got to think Dabo Swinney he played at Alabama, and he's on the coaching tree of Nick Saban. So.
Oh, yeah, I know that. That's why I kept saying the coaches that are in mind for the next coaching vacancy. Isn't there a couple or one on Nick Saban coaching staff now? They all have expectations when they leave there to carry on the knowledge and the mission that I taught you.
As Rob Scott said, I love this show. You know college football. Yeah, we do know college football. All right, number 5, Michigan at Rutgers. Who you got?
Michigan.
Yeah,
but I want to see sportsmanship at this game. If I was Captain Khaki Pants in Michigan, I would start this game in the most unconventional way, with shaking hands. Let's come out and shake hands. Let's get past that BS that happened. Even though we were not the instigators in that, allegedly, let's come out and set the tone as Michigan men and shake hands, start this game.
That's the first time I heard you say Jim Harbaugh. Usually you say khaki pants. That's the first time I've seen
Captain Khaki Pants Jim Harbaugh.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. That's better because, Dre, I missed that khaki pants there. You just threw Jim Harbaugh. You just threw me in a route, I almost picked the wrong team in that game. You said Jim Harbaugh,
Yeah. There's a lot of people dressed up this past Halloween.
How about Arizona at number 14, Utah?
I like them Utes, man. Now, if any team in week 0 and week 1 needs a do-over, it's the Utes. They want a do-over in that game.
Yep. So I got the Utes too in this one. Auburn at Mississippi State.
Give me Mississippi State. But
So
this
you're
is
saying
Cadillac Women's coaching debut, right?
Yeah, it's Cadillac Williams' coaching debut right here.
I want to see how much they bring up what he did in college as opposed to what he's going to bring to them as coaching. What time does that
I'm gonna do you a favor. I say Cadillac Williams gets his first win because teams will probably be motivated to play for him.
Okay. They probably know who he is, too. They're young enough.
Yep. South Carolina will go into Vanderbilt when they come out with the win.
Yes. Vandy they just gave up on football this year.
Yeah.
They gave up.
I give South Carolina. All right, James Madison goes to Louisville.
Give me Louisville.
Yeah, I'm going to take Louisville in this one, too. Louisville's been playing pretty good football the last couple weeks. All righty, Florida State will go in to play Miami. It's at 7:30 on ABC.
Ooh, my good buddy Hot Tub Dave is a huge Florida State fan. He's one of those guys like you. You give out stats about Carolina that a lot of people don't pay attention to. You know, you have favorite players that are not key household names because you see the upside. You know the high school the kid went through. You know of all this coaching that he went through. You know what 707 camp he went to. That's what my man Hot Tub Dave brought to the table when it comes to Florida State. And this matchup with Miami, there's so many numbers around this game the past 10 years. The U is not back. They're more down than the So I'm going with Florida State.
Yeah, I'll pick this one for my wife. My wife is a Florida State fan, so I'll pick that for her too. I'll put Florida State for that one.
If you pick Miami, what was she going to do today after the show?
I don't know. She's not here right now.
But she's listening, Ray. She's listening.
I don't know if she's listening or not. She's planting trees at her school right now.
Oh, one of her friends listening. Girl, you hear what Ray said? He said he picked Miami.
All right. We're going to skip over to North Carolina and wait for his game because we're going to come back for our spotlight here. California at USC. At number 9 USC. Who you got?
I'm going to really try to watch this entire USC game.
Is that 10:30 tonight? You going to be able to stay up?
Well, the World Series will be on tonight, too. So I got a little motivation there. And I'm going to do another pot of coffee after the Florida-Georgia game. So I'll be okay. I should be in the right limelight. But I want to see this USC team because I still don't believe when they lost. Because that was the weekend of my birthday where I saw no college football, not one. And that's
why they lost. You didn't watch it.
I feel you, dog. I feel you. That's why I've made plans about the calendar. People, we're going to move from now on, October 22nd, will not be on a Saturday ever again.
All right, number 12, UCLA at Arizona State tonight.
I got to go with UCLA, Arizona State. You know what you did.
Yep. Colorado State at San Jose State.
Ooh, I like San Jose uniforms. I'm like a woman in the 80s. I pick teams based on their uniforms. Give me San Jose State.
Yeah, I got San Jose State too in this one. Hawaii at Fresno State.
808 in the building, baby. Shaka, bro. Give me UH, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to take Hawaii in this one too. All right, brother. We're going to get to our highlighted game of the week, which is number 21 Wake Forest and number 22 North Carolina State.
One ball game. What was they ranking last year each other when they played that game?
NC State was, I think they were in top 13.
Oh, this is NC State and Wake Forest. My bad. I thought you said Carolina and Wake.
All
right.
No, North Carolina State was 13 and Wake Forest was 21, I think. And then Wake Forest beat North Carolina State because North Carolina State would have beat Wake Forest. They would have won the Atlantic Division for the first time since they beat Clemson. But Wake Forest beat them because Wake Forest always beats North Carolina State.
Even when Chuck E. Cheese Amato was there. Chuck Amato.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck Amato, my man.
North Carolina State always have problems with Wake Forest.
Seems like everybody does. And that quarterback, is he back yet or is he out?
No, he's out for the season. That backup quarterback was Chambers. Now Morris came in last week and took North Carolina State back to victory. In the second half of that, who did they play last week? They played Virginia Tech last week. Brought them back from victory 22-21 over Virginia Tech in Ronald at Carter Finley Stadium. This game will be played at Carter Finley Stadium tonight.
I've been there.
Number 24, number 21, Wake Forest is a three-point favorite against number 22 North Carolina State, 6-2, 2-2 in conference play. Both of them are 6-2, 2-2 in conference play. So, my friend, the hype on North Carolina State was with Larry there. He was the player of the year, but Larry did not play like he was a player of the year for the ACC. He was struggling also in some of these games, but he got hurt I think he got hurt in the Clemson game. I think that's the game he got hurt in.
I believe it was.
Chalmers came in and no, he got hurt in the Florida State game.
Florida State game?
Yeah, he got hurt in the Florida State game because he got hurt in the Florida State game, and then Chalmers came in and ran the ball like 4 times to beat him. He didn't pass the ball any. He ran the quarterback sweep, dive plays, and all that stuff to come back and beat Florida State.
Okay.
So without Larry there, they found a freshman quarterback in Morris who led them to come back against Virginia Tech last week. 22-21 was the final score. Demon Deacons coming off a loss to Louisville, 48-21. The Demon Deacons Hartman did not look like Sam Hartman of old. He looked like a different Hartman. Now NC State's defense is one of the better defenses in the ACC. Give NC State that credit. The offense has been struggling without Larry. They think they found a quarterback in Morris who can run the ball and pass the ball. He gets the first start today. From first quarter on, nobody's going to be surprised that he's playing because they got film on him against Virginia Tech at the tail end of the game. Now he's got to go full fourth quarter. He has not done that yet this season. Hartman is a freshman. He's a true freshman.
Jesus.
Now, Sam Hartman is battle-tested and always had a good game against North Carolina State's defense. Does Sam Hartman come back to the old Sam Hartman and give North Carolina State fits today?
You know, you put me on Wake Forest last year, and I probably watched more Wake Forest games than I ever thought I would in football in my entire life, and I was liking what I saw. But the quarterback got hurt. Now we got a true freshman going against NC State, who is a defensive-minded team. And I'm going with my history at NC State. I used to know the strength and conditioning coach, Mac Daddy, the Mac of all. And I was at the game. We tore the goalpost down when Phillip Rivers beat Florida State. So I'm going to go with NC State based on history. And I like the people of Raleigh.
Well, you're going on based on history. Let me give you a little bit of history on this series. Wake Forest has a better time playing NC State than they have anybody else in the ACC besides Carolina, because Wake Forest holds Carolina, victories over Carolina and stuff for last year. But when it came down to last season, even though they both had Hartman and Larry last season, Hartman came out victory. Now NC State's starting a freshman quarterback, and NC State fans think this is history. Beating quarterback because he's a freshman, don't have no tape on him except for the fourth quarter of the Virginia Tech game. But in that Virginia Tech game, he had to show him his run and his passing to come back in this game. So now they got the tape for one quarter of him.
Only kids out there in college football that's a true freshman that's at a high-profile position. There's no game tape on. If you grew up in a very isolated town, or if you came off a reservation and you had to go play with another high school because your reservation didn't have a high school. That's the only way. There's no film footage out there. They found film on this kid. Now, if he came out of very high-profile high school that ran a college-style offense, you got me. There's a few of those in college football right now that come out of these institutions. You swear that's a collegiate institution, but it's really a high school. A private high school is that. But right now, a freshman this late in the year, no. Let's go NC State.
Now, the question is, the slow match of Wake Forest, the two All-American linebackers for North Carolina State in Mills and Wilson. Does North Carolina State come and blitz those two linebackers and make sure one hits the quarterback and the other one hits the running back at the same time?
You highlighted that play last week, and here's the crazy thing. Here's the verbatim on that. Here's the video rewind and the videography with it. They highlighted the same thing on the College Football Show on Tuesday. about what Wake Forest does with that run style. And one of the coordinators on the show said, here's how you stop that. He got up on the big screen and he drugged the player around on how to stop this play, how to stop it, how to see it early, and what to do. And if other teams do that, it's going to be a problem with Wake Forest trying to pull that type of run style over. Only way you can beat it or get out of it if they over-attack it, that being NC State. It's a very fast-moving play, but it looked real slow to us. It's real slow to us watching on TV. But there are three things they're looking for. That tight end to cut across, right, go right behind those linebackers. That hole for that running back to get through. If that outside linebacker comes in and tries to attack the tight end or try to hit the quarterback, now we got that open for the run. And then if he forgets that chip, that tight end's open. Then if they miss all of the quarterback can do what he want to do now.
You ready for this, though? Cataract, when he showed you on Tuesday night, they have another play that comes off that slow too, and they didn't show it on that Tuesday night game.
That's the one with the receiver going all the way down. He's streaming. He's streaking on me.
No, it's the receiver that cuts in behind the tight end on a slant, quick slant. They didn't show that on Tuesday night. Dawson has a play against North Carolina State. If they would have shown the North Carolina game, you would have seen the slant come behind that tight end. You know why they do that? You know why they slant the wide receiver behind the tight end? Because the over-aggressive Wilson would like to come in and hit the quarterback every single time against Wake Forest, and they throw the wide receiver right behind the tight end where Wilson's supposed to be at, and the wide receiver goes for almost a touchdown.
Yeah, because you got blocking right there.
Yep.
And if your running back got a little speed to him and can hold up his blocking, just throw a little chip on somebody, and that is what a 45-plus yard or even TD.
And if you watch the tight end, when he does that play, the tight end purposely slows down, lets the wide receiver catch the ball, and then he lays out anybody in front of the wide receiver.
That is. Plus, he got wide hips and a wide ass. He can really lay it out on somebody.
So watch the play. The key play of this game for NC State has to stop is that wide receiver slant that comes in behind the tight end. If Wilson overcommits again, like you say, he likes to hit the quarterback, and Mills likes to take out the running back. When them two linebacker disappears, NC State safety has to come up and play. But the only problem is you got to avoid the tight end from trying to block you after he makes the catch.
That's the thing.
So watch the quick play. If you really want to look at this game here, NC State is only averaging 26.8 points a game to 38.9 for Wake Forest. Wake Forest is giving up 27 points a game to NC State's defense is only giving up 17.4. Total yards, Wake Forest 431 to NC State 355 on offense. Wake Forest passed the ball 297 yards, 0.5 to 136.6. NC State runs the ball 125.1, and they pass the ball 230 out of that, makes that 355.1. NC State's defense only gives up a 308.6 yards a game. Break that down. NC State's defense is only giving up 195.3 yards passing, 113.4 yards rushing. Wake Forest gives up 378.5 on the defensive side. That's 233.5 yards passing to 145.0 yards rushing. If you look at it today, they give Wake Forest 41.2% chance to beating North Carolina State. North Carolina State is 58.8% at Reynolds at Carter Finley Stadium. Wake Forest is favored by 3 points in this game. Dre, your points over and under in this ball game is 54 points.
That's definitely an under on that.
So you think it's going to be a defensive battle?
Yes.
Not an offensive show for Wake Forest.
Right. Exactly. But I got NC State winning this game. I know the numbers are looking good for a possible victory for Wake Forest, but the way NC State plays at home and the fact I know the quote-unquote freshman, we're going to see what it's all about.
Well, to give you a little idea of this game,
the hell?
When Wake Forest lost a game, they come back and play better. Because the Wake Forest lost to Clemson, they went back and beat FSU at FSU.
Right.
They lost to Louisville last week. Wake Forest is going to be a little bit bummed and it's going to be a little bit mad. They're going to come out and try to destroy NC State because they have confidence in playing NC State.
Right.
But my question is to you: does NC State have enough corner to match up against Wake Forest wide receiver core?
I think discipline is a key factor for the defense of NC State. They got to stay disciplined and understand the scenario, understand the reads, and look at the formation when we come out of our defensive huddle. If they get that and they had a good practice this week, this is a game that they can contain and also win. But it's all about overdoing it. And we know how hypeness can be done. This is a rival game. It's hypeness. You can overdo it. You can get overexcited. If you calm it down, we understand trying to get the crowd into it, motivate yourself, get that early momentum of the game. But sometimes things like that, when that spark player, and how I think the referees are really going to be watching these games after last weekend and last night's fights in college football. I think the refs are going to be watching the verbiage on the field and the body language. So I'm worried about the penalties in the games today on unsportsmanlike conduct across all board of college football based on what happened last weekend and last night. But I see NC State winning this game. That 3, that looks real nasty and good to play with. And I'm taking the under on this game.
Come to the series, North Carolina State leads the series 67-42.6, but it hasn't been that in the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
Damon Dinkins has won last year, beating NC State up in Winston-Salem. They're going into Carlin Phillips Stadium. This is the ACC primetime game at 8 p.m. tonight. If you look at this thing here in these matchups here with this things for the North Carolina State has erased a deficit of 14 to 18 points to win their last 2 home games over Florida State and Virginia Tech. But the Wolfpack's 15 straight home wins are one shot of the program's record set in 1972-75 under Lou Holtz. The home team has won the past 3 meetings. This is the only 3 meetings with both teams being ranked before last year. It had only happened in 1992. The team have met every year since 1910. Damon Dinkins had just 5 turnovers on the season before losing the 4 fumbles and throwing 4 interceptions in Louisville's loss. Banks, Perry, and Green have combined for 13 touchdown catches for Wake Forest. That's what NC State's got to look at. The key player on NC State that I want to look at here is Ingle, the safety, the hard-hitting safety for North Carolina State. He sets the tone of making big hits. But he's also susceptible to big moves and flags. So, if I was Perry, Bank, and Green going down the middle, they might have alligator arms because that safety is sitting there to put the hit on them.
What's my favorite saying on Saturdays and Sundays? Put that ball down. You didn't want it anyway.
But last year, Perry and Banks had a big game against NC State.
Right.
And to put it point blank, when this game came last year, I had all my state friends saying, "Oh, we got the Atlantic Coast. We got the Atlantic Coast. We're going to win the Atlantic Division because we're going to we will beat Wake Forest." That game came and they turned them away again. North Carolina State has never played for the ACC championship game in the ACC championship game when it has formed. They have never won the Atlantic Division since the Atlantic Division, Coastal Division. Now, the best chance next year when the divisions fold and they're going to go and play everybody, they're not going to have divisions next year in the ACC. The first 2, number
folded?
1.
You guys folded in football, the ACC?
No, we're not folding. We're taking away the Atlantic. We're taking the Atlantic and the Coastal Division away and making the first 2, the number 1 and number 2 winners of the number 1 and number 2 teams in the league going to play each other for the ACC championship next year.
Okay.
We're not folding football-wise, but we're folding the divisions, in the divisions. So, my friend, quarterback MJ Morris. First year, Pastor took over the second half and led a comeback 21-3 deficit to beat Virginia Tech last week because he had not played all season long. And Virginia Tech wasn't ready for that quarterback change. So when quarterback changes happen in mid-games, usually that quarterback has a little bit of advantage over the defensive side because they have not seen his style play all season and they're not prepared for him either.
Go ahead.
So now C.J. Morris played that fourth quarter, the second half. You got a whole half of C.J. Morris for Wake Forest coach to scout in a college game. I know they can scout him in high school and all that. I know all this, what you're saying about that. But they have him in a college game now. They know he can pass and run the ball. Does Wake Forest put a spy on him if he starts running?
I can't remember if it's just in NFL or college. Do they have an earpiece in their helmet in college football?
No.
So you mean to tell me this freshman, true freshman, did he start the game last week or did he go in the game?
He went in the game in the second half.
So either he knows the playbook or they gave him plays only he knows how to run without even knowing anything about the offense, which I find that very hard to believe. There's been a few players who did in years past. We heard stories about that. Now that they're in the NFL, how they got in a game and they didn't know anything but like 3 formations to go off of, and coach let them do that because they had no other option. Well, all the hand signaling and all that, there is a way to get over the hump with a true freshman. If he had any reps, any workouts with that team, there is a way to win the game. So let me take that back. But I don't think he's going to have that many plays as a starting quarterback when he gets in there at that moment. So he probably had 6 plays to work with.
Well, he's on the depth chart starting the season, he was the third string quarterback.
Oh, hell yeah. No, he didn't know that much. No. So his football IQ is very high right now. For you to move that far up the chain from a 3 to the starter due to injury still, they saw something in here other than the number 2.
Now, my question is, does Wake Forest defensive coordinator come up with some plays to disguise it and try to fool the freshman?
I would. I definitely would. I would move a lot of moving pieces each and every time. It would never be no one just standing around. We'd be yelling out different sounds, clapping. I'm telling you, I'm going to cause confusion and havoc. I'm going to stir them up. Say somebody's girlfriend, whatever I got to do.
All right, the key matchup of this ball game is what I stated earlier: Wake Forest offense versus North Carolina State's defense. Before an 8-turnover loss at Louisville, the Demon Deacons had scored at least 31 points in every game, while generally avoiding a self-inflicted mistake. Still, they're 13th in the bowl subdivision in scoring with an average of 38.9 points per game. Quarterback Sam Hartman is tied for 6th in the FBS with 22 touchdown passes, and he has a trio of matchup winning targets in Donovan Green, Jamal Banks, and A.T. Perry. Wolfpack veteran defense only allows 308.6 yards a game, 18th in FBS, 17.4 ties them 12th in the FBS league. We already told about Morris as the quarterback to watch, key player to watch. Wide receiver Banks, the wideout, is tied for 6th FBS with ACC best 8 TD catches for Wake Forest. So it's going to be Banks on the offensive side of Wake Forest is a key player to watch, and Morris will be the key player to watch at North Carolina State in this one. Here, we got about 8 minutes before we get into kickoff here on the noon kickoff. We already have one kickoff up. Let's see if we have any score in that Air Force game, because the Air Force started at 11:30 today. I'm going to take it back and see here. We have no score in that game right now. Army's at their own 18-yard line, 2nd and 5. So at 11:44 in the first quarter, no score. Army's got the ball. So on that game.
Eastern Standard Time. Here in the Central Time Zone, we started that game at 10:30.
Yeah. That's why I said it's Eastern. Eastern's more dominant.
No comment.
Yeah. Everything's on Eastern Standard Time. How many times have you seen a game start off? Oh, this game is at 10:30 Central Time, but you on the East Coast is 11:30 in the middle. It's always East, Central, and Pacific. So we always first on the East Coast.
The World Series in our favor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, World Series in your favor.
It helps people in the Central Time Zone. We don't have no games at 9 o'clock. Thank God.
Yeah, but the Eastern Standard Time won the last year's World Series in the Atlanta Braves.
That bus drove too damn fast through the parade to even say hi to the fans.
Even when I play, even one of our relievers got to say that it wasn't even a ball player.
What?
Yeah, you see, he jumped off the bus to go give something to a fan, sign a fan's shirt. He wouldn't let him back on the bus, saying he's not part of the Atlanta Braves.
Hey, that bus was driving so fast, I'm surprised he didn't get ran over. That was the fastest moving bus through a parade progression I've ever seen in my entire life. Go look at YouTube. Look at that bus driving fast, man. That don't make no sense. He was late. His mama said something, or his wife said, get your ass home. I don't care if it's the Braves. Get home, watch these kids. I got to go to work.
All right, so who you get? You got NC State, you said, right?
Nah,
I'm making sure that's correct.
What's the quarterback name again for Wake Forest?
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, give me that. Yeah, give me Wake Forest.
They got Wake Forest. I got Wake Forest in this ball game
That's
too.
The kid that has to walk off and talk to himself. Yeah.
I got that one too. So we have all games picked, all games broken down. So Dre, on this weekend, what games are you looking forward to watch?
First, I'm gonna watch that Florida game, of course, and there's another 11 o'clock game that you mentioned. I didn't know that came on at 11. It's a good matchup. I do believe it's who did I say I was going to watch? Tulane?
Yeah, Tulane and Tulsa.
Tulane. Of course, I got to watch the Georgia-Tennessee game. Of course, I got to watch the Clemson game. I got to watch. I'm gonna look at a little bit of Michigan. Who else am I throwing there? Somebody else I want in there. I'm gonna look at a little bit of that Miami, Florida State game. And who else is that? I don't think
you said USC.
Yeah, I want to see them assholes play. I want to see them play for sure. I want to see them play.
All right, my turn here.
Ohio
I got my North.
That's not a game to watch today. That's not a good matchup today. They're gonna beat the shit out of them.
I got my Tar Heels. I'm watching my Tar Heels play at noon. I always watch my Carolina team play. Also, I'll have my TV set for the Texas Tech and TCU on my computer screen with no volume. My volume will be the North Carolina-Virginia game in the first game. I will have Missouri on with no volume on one of my other computer screens. And I will have the Florida Texas A&M on my last computer screen there. I'll have 4 games up in there on the noon games. I'll have Tennessee game up on the big screen on the volume. I'll have Oregon on one of my screens. I'll have Penn State on one. And I will have Oklahoma State and Kansas on one.
I think I'm going to put Florida on the big screen, Mizzou on silence. What's the other 11 o'clock game?
You got Ohio State at Northwestern.
Yeah.
You got Maryland at Wisconsin.
I may put that on the
you got Tulsa
on the SEC network.
You got Tulane and Tulsa.
Yeah.
You got Kentucky and Missouri.
I got to put one of the games on Mizzou.
You got your Florida, Texas A&M. You got Minnesota and Nebraska.
That's a good tease.
You got Western Kentucky and Charlotte.
Ooh.
At 12.
Ooh. What else we got here?
At 11:30 Central Time, 12:30 Eastern Time. I put Central first this time. That don't sound right, but still. You got Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech.
I cannot watch that. But yeah, those early games right there. Yeah, I kind of like the setup we're going with right there. Yeah.
And then tonight, before I go to bed, because I probably go to bed during some of these games here at nighttime because I have to get up at crack of dawn in the morning. I'll have Florida State on one of my computer screens. I have NC State on my big screen with Wake Forest because I hope Wake Forest beats out of NC State.
Right.
I'll have the USC in one game and have a UCLA on the other screen. But I'll probably be to bed for the rest of the games are already over. So
yeah, the late games I'm definitely gonna do the Wake Forest, the USC of course, UCLA, and I'm gonna watch Hawaii.
Yep. So 2 minutes before game time, we're going to let you get ready, get your popcorn, and get everything ready for the noon game here. Or, like Dre said, the 11 o'clock game there on the Central Time zone.
Nobody watches college football at 12. That's set up for the NFL. College is playing 11 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock my time, so. Nobody watches pro football at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
East Coast does. We watch it at 12 noon here, boy. 12 noon.
Yeah, but you know what? Hawaii's got it even better. They watch it at 7:30 in the morning.
No, man. No, because look.
Oh, yeah.
Football is over with by 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
And then you go party the rest of the night. And then you go party the rest of the night.
No, man. That's the only thing I ain't like about living in Hawaii. How football is so dirty. Until I started gambling against people who new to the island that are from the mainland, they didn't know if you can see the games. They're watching the recorded games as opposed to seeing the live games. Let me tell you a quick story real quick before we go. I betted my CEO a Monday Night Football game, right? So he let us get off early. He didn't go nowhere. He stayed on the ship the whole time. He thought Monday Night Football comes on at 9 o'clock at night. Thought it was gonna be a live game. So we all took off to the thing. We go and we get the score, the point spread, and we go bet him. We set the point spread. The regular. If they win by 7, we set the point spread at 4. So we know we're going to take the point spread and the over and under. So we know what the total score was. We always set it low for him. And he said, "Oh yeah, I'll take the point spread in the thing," but we already know it's going to go over. And we take. And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "How would you want to bet?" We don't bet. We didn't bet for money, so we always bet it for liberty. So the CEO put his mouth where his money was. I said, "We want a 96-hour special liberty. Damn.
If
what's up?
It goes over the point spread." He said, "Okay, we get that." We kept getting 96-point liberty till he finally found out the last game of the football season. So that was a quick story there for the Navy. So, but I am Ray. I am Dre. Oh, that's Dre.
You're Ray, and I'm Dre.
I got it backwards. I'm Ray. That's Dre. This is the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network. See you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. 8 a.m. Central Time.
Central Standard Time. Go Vet. It is Veterans Week. Go get it. Go Vets. Go Vets.
Yes, go Vets. Oh, I forgot about that. To all my veterans, we salute you.
Already in the building. Let's go vet it out.
There you go. This is Ray. This is Ray J. This is All Sports All Plays on the All Sports All Plays Network, the College Breakdown Show. See you next week.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.